do it. You see, only gotcha games are allowed to do it for some fucking reason. Fuck, even the Chinese are starting to have panty shots now. The Japanese could never.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep.
No, but like seriously, like I like you know like see the last few interviews of like Atelier Yumiya and Kiara, and it's like I can't say for certain Kiara's not out yet. Like this game is being made right now, but you know it is clear that like you know they still have Black Void censorship. They had that with the phone game too at first too, though. But then they went all out with the fucking bikinis and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
They realized where the money was at.
Yeah, no, but like. Immediately, like the moment they put Raisa in the game, like the fucking jiggle physics are everywhere. Those do not exist in the recent like Atelier games. So I'm just thinking to myself, was like, you're fucking bullshitting me. Like I see, we're making this game to get a wider audience, and then I see the phone game, which is like specifically made to make money, and then you know I see the massive amount of fan service they put into it, just. Absolutely insane. There's all bikinis everywhere, jiggle physics everywhere, and I'm sitting like, you fucking know what actually makes money. You fucking know it. I know it. You're just fucking lying to me. Fuck you.
Yep.
No balls.
But you know how it is. There's probably some other some what was it called again?
I
forgot the name. Shareholders somewhere out there breathing down their necks whenever they make a main game.
Yeah. It's like everything is just allowed in a gotcha game, because all they care about is making cheap money with no morals attached to it. So with the main game, they go like, "Oh no, we can just."
When your principle is money, hypocrisy doesn't exist.
No, it's just like genuine, like, "Oh no, we know how this actually sells, so we're gonna do it."
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. It's like
Nevertheless, the Ephidus had a character called Mint, and they apparently somewhat nerfed her a little bit, her tit size, and then the fans complained and immediately restored it back. Why can't other companies do that? Why can't they do that? Why can't they just not do that? Why can't they not just do that? It's impossible. Like it's worse when a fucking Chinese communist country allows games to have more stuff than fucking Japan at this point. What the fuck? Greetings everyone, welcome to the crash out of the century. We're back. We're finishing.
We're gonna continue this crash out with Final Fantasy XIV.
We're gonna have a different crash out.
Summary.
I need to tweet this. We're finishing Final Fantasy with a whimper. With a whimper reacting to the summary of Endwalker because we were too fed up to actually play the game. This will be a final send-off. Kiss, kiss, goodbye. No, wait, I'm invited. Should I even put... I guess I'll just put some hashtags here and there. VTuber, yeah.
Should maybe also put the kiss, kiss, goodbye on.
Kiss, kiss, goodbye. I'm not doing that now. It's cringe. I don't want to do that.
I know, but you should commit.
I don't think anyone will get it. The fuck is this guy talking about? Will anyone click on the link if I add the kiss kiss though? I have to think about the money making. I have to think about the money making now.
You make the same tweet again and then add kiss kiss goodbye on the next one.
Kiss kiss goodbye.
See which one gets more traction.
Oh man. Fuck me, it's so warm in my room. It's not even warm outside. This is warm in my room. Holy shit. I don't feel very good.
Same. I had to open the window.
You know, I like bromadashi and their fries, but the fries are sometimes so big that like when I eat them I feel so fucking form ill. Genuinely. Holy shit, what do they make with those fries? Peanut. Okay, hold on a minute. Let me just... Okay, so to anyone who comes in here, we're basically finishing Final Fantasy XIV with a YouTube video because we didn't want to actually play the game anymore. Playing the game would take us almost half a year, so the rest of this year we'd be playing a game that we don't really want to play. And judging from people who come by and visit watching that, people seem to be pretty bored from just watching it as well.
Yeah.
So I genuinely believe no one will be happy if we were to just continue playing the game, because it would just be us being cranky. Like for 20 minutes we'll have fun playing a dungeon, and then for the 5 hours in between we'll be absolutely miserable, and everyone watching it will be miserable too. So that's why we made the decision of we're gonna just watch a YouTube video. Not certain how I'm gonna do that on stream, but I'll figure it out. But can I hide the taskbar, by the way? Is that a thing I can do? I think I can do that. How do I do that?
You could F11.
No, I did it. Okay, I can use it. I did it simply, but okay.
This does show all your tabs.
That's fine. It's not like I'm watching porn or anything on these tabs.
I know, but some people might just start having like heart attacks when they see the amount of tabs you have.
Good,
right?
I have something exciting to see other than 14.
It's like, oh my god, you psychopath! How do you have so many tabs? It's probably some people's opinion.
Listen, I'm making videos, I'm editing stuff. I have 50 million tabs for editing. Because the moment I like click off of something, yeah, I could bookmark it, but I don't want to. Well, I'm too lazy. Alright, there you go. I have to like uncrop certain things. Maybe I should make a different. You know, I'll just make a different fence to capture for this. Chrome 2. Okay, and of course I have to fit it in. We're going to full screen the video, obviously, so should be fine. I might just make it a little bit rough. I guess I will transform it properly. I don't know what to expect from this video either, because I haven't seen it, obviously. Like, we're reacting to essentially him telling us the story, and then, you know, the best we can do is think about it ourselves, or trust his word, take his word for it, because we're not dealing with.
Yeah, so if you find anything you disagree with the summary, you can. Who did we take it from? Who are we watching from?
Birds of Play, which is a funny pun.
Birds of Play. You can shit on him.
Please don't actually shit on him, though.
You can shit on him, not on us, if he gets anything wrong.
Yeah, no, that is true. You can really blame him. If he gets anything wrong. I didn't do anything.
We didn't do anything. We're just
we're spectators in this horror show called 14.
Yes.
Well, I guess without further ado, I should put on so. I hope he has some. Does he have subtitles? Okay, they're. Oh, actually, yeah, these are not automated. So yeah. Okay, we have proper subtitles too. So if anyone wants to like, so we can actually talk over him and still read what he's saying. Thank fucking God. With that said. It's a really weird feeling to watch a YouTube video instead live on stream. Like I'm not a good reactor at all, so let's see how that goes. We'll probably pause the video a few times as well, just to make fun of 14. Anyway, we can get started, right?
Yeah. Go right ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the complete story of Final Fantasy XIV.
I don't know how loud we should make it either.
The epic conclusion to the Zodiac Hydaelyn saga. It will take us all the way to the moon and back. Endwalker is a tale of holding on to hope, even in the bleakest of times.
This is all 14 though.
To go on, even in the face of insurmountable sorrow and inevitable
The best
death.
part of 14 is the intro
To mention some new bunny people.
Yeah.
This time they are small and have funny names. But anyway, I'm Peter from Birds of Play. In this video I hope you'll join me as we take a walk all the way to the end. Holding our head high, even in the face of despair.
The despair being is playing the game.
It's going to be a walk to remember. And
it's just mostly the MSQ. I wish I could play the game.
Revisit the grand conclusion to this saga that has become beloved by so many. Traveling to Limsa, the warrior of light and the scions of the Seventh Dawn, prepare for their journey across the sea. As Kryle has secured them passage and entry into Sharlayan.
This is already a funny video.
Island nation of the north, where they hope to find answers that might help them avert the encroaching calamity.
That does make sense.
During the voyage,
this is Sanraku's brother who cares more about the lore than the gameplay.
Mysterious voice. which compels him to visit the ship's deck, where he encounters the luminescent woman he once saw at Lake Silvertear, the woman rejoicing that her voice still reaches him. The mysterious woman reveals herself to be none other than Hydaelyn.
Hydaelyn, apparently.
Confirms Emmett Selk's revelation that her true nature is indeed that of a primal, just like the ones
Did we see her specifically?
Yeah, that's the question. Did we see her back in what was this? In Shadowbringer? I don't remember.
I don't remember that. Obviously, we recognized her by the voice, right? But yeah, this person said we saw her in the lakes somewhere. Maybe it's a side story that we didn't do.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
Themselves to fighting. As the primal zodiac.
To be fair, it's been like 2 years since we did Shadowbringer, so I'm pretty certain we'll forget some things too.
She too
Yeah, it's been that long.
To bind him. But now, as the Asians have partially succeeded in rejoining the shards of the sundered world to make their god whole again, Hydaelyn has grown weak in equal measure.
Is that how it works?
As such, the power to draw the Warrior of Light's mind into the rift is no longer hers to command.
So that's why she came to
Regardless,
us.
she now presents her weakened image to the warrior to relay a message of utmost importance, as she tells him that the impending conflict will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it.
I fucking know that already,
Finally,
though.
she tells him that when his journey has prepared him to surmount the insurmountable, she will honor a promise made in another age. As the ship nears Shalayan, Hydaelyn fades away.
Okay.
The warrior returns
could have been
to
an
his
email.
companions,
Yeah, you could have just emailed this.
with a renewed sense of purpose.
Well, it already
Together
begins.
they
It
behold
already
old
begins.
Shalayan,
And this
the
is just a
capital of
summary.
Shalayan, a great center of knowledge and learning.
I just want to see how many meetings we have. We should have a counter for all the meetings that we're gonna have.
United to face the
Actually, Ennis, I want to have a counter for something. Every time the summary is gonna tell us that we need to like find new people and that we have to like get their trust, and then we get to go to the next area and also get the trust of the people of the next area that we go to. I want a counter for that every time.
Let me pull up Paint so I can cross it off, you know. I'll just use MS Paint. You know how they do it in prison where they do the sticks, right?
I can't believe
that's how I'm counting it.
we're prisoners of the 14 now.
Upon arrival, they are faced with the harbor's immigration officer, who proceeds to process Grahatia, Ishtola, Thancred, and Urianger first, seeing as they all bear the mark of Archons, signifying that they have excelled in a particular field of study in the eyes of Shalayan. The twins also have an easy time gaining re-entry into their homeland, although rumors of the disownment by their father, Master Foshino, have become widespread in the city proper. As such, the immigration officer cautions them not to make matters worse by continuing to rebel against their father's and the Forum's wishes. Meanwhile, the warrior...
I can't believe they have to fucking deal with the immigration officer is concerned for someone else's family matters as well. It's like, because of your family matters, you can't possibly go against your father. You're not your own people. Fuck you.
It is processed as an adventure.
Celebrities, yes, they don't have
has some
lives.
difficulties.
Yeah, celebrities, you don't have lives. Fuck you.
Seeing as he is no longer the Azure Dragoon of Ishgard. Coming to his rescue, Kryl interjects and introduces him as a mercenary for the students of Baldesion, thus sponsoring his entry into the country.
Thank God we have a sponsor.
Is finally behind them. Graha and Kryl give the warrior a tour of Old Shalayan, before regrouping at the Baldesion Annex, the headquarters of the students of Baldesion. There they discuss their next move, regarding how they can prevent the Telephoroid's evil scheme from coming to fruition by foiling the machinations of this particular faction of the now splintered Garlean Empire, headed by Crown Prince Xenos and Fandaniel, the sundered Asian. Their discussion revolves around Shalayan's enigmatic stance on the end of days, which has resulted in the Forum being unwilling to cooperate, and the ominous Telephoroid towers that have been popping up all around the world without warning. Kryl mentions a lead in Thavnir, an island just south of the coast of Ilsabad, home to the city-state of Radzadhan, which might help them gain some insight into the sudden appearance of the towers.
Yeah, I can almost
This
draw the
prompts
first
the
line.
science.
I'm waiting. I am anxious.
Are to venture to Thavnir, while the others probe the Forum's secrets in Shalayan. As their champion, the warrior is tasked with overseeing progress on both fronts, Kryl deferring the decision regarding which front to tackle first to to the warrior's own discretion.
They did this also
Choosing
in
not to venture
Shadowbringers,
far,
where they would have
the Warrior of Light opts to begin looking for answers in old Sharlayan. Initially, the investigation proves unfruitful, so he takes the time to sit down for a little heart-to-heart with Alizé, who shares with him her feelings about her and Alphinaud having been disowned by their father. Their father's philosophy and that of their grandfather Louisoix had always differed greatly regarding Sharlayan's commitment to non-interference.
Basically, one person thinks, hey, if we're all gonna die, that would be a bad thing. And the other's like, okay, but are we really all going to die? I think it's just you guys. How does this affect us personally?
My grandpa was an awesome phoenix, and that is just
she realized how childish she had been. How being self-righteous and stubborn must run in the family. For if she could only have mustered a civil response, things might have turned out differently. As they contemplate what could have been, they spy gleaners. People who take on various...
We should have a meeting about the cleaners, and not us.
To Labyrinthos, a vast complex situated beneath the island. The complex is used to house Sharlayan's living library, and is composed of all manner of flora...
It's actually a good question as to whether this man Birds of Play is skipping all the meetings as well.
Seems excessive, prompting Alice
It's only telling us the important parts of the story and not the meetings.
The forum is planning. Together they descend down into Labyrinthos, deep beneath the city, where a false sun lights up a fabricated sky. Once there, the warrior makes the acquaintance of a Viera gleamer by the name of Erenwil, helps him capture a specimen he has been tasked with procuring. As a way of showing his gratitude for the help, Erenwil divulges that he has been asked to bring the specimen even further down into the depths of Labyrinthos, to the restricted section, which is open to only a few select researchers, handpicked by the forum.
So we need to get their trust, right?
Conducted there is so secretive that even those who have risen to the rank of Archons know not of it. Erenwil himself is not privy to what the forum needs the specimen for, but he suspects that they are gathering materials for some sort of migration, perhaps to Marasidia in the south. The reason he suspects this is that the flora and fauna the Gleamers have been asked to gather are mostly known to serve as reliable sources of sustenance, or for otherwise making soil and water viable for consumption. Delving deeper into Labyrinthos, they happen upon peculiar white flowers, known as heart blooms. What makes these flowers unique is that they are seemingly attuned to ambient emotions, leading them to take on the color of the intense feelings found in their surroundings, the working of this empathetic effect being a mystery to even the scholars of Sharlayan.
It's a mystery to Sharlayans because they don't have feelings.
The existence of such flowers, but must nevertheless continue their efforts to uncover the forum's secrets. In order to do so, they trail Erenwil disguised as frogs, in order to eavesdrop on his conversation with a member of the forum as he finishes making his delivery. Successful in their task, they witness Erenwil issue his complaints about how the Gleamers are being kept in the dark despite being made to do so much work. The forum member then shares with Erenwil that in ages past, Sharlayan was tasked with a tremendous duty to counter the final days, and that the time has now come to fulfill that charge. The forum member says he can't share any more information at present, but promises that all will be revealed in due course. In the meantime, he asks Erenwil to simply believe that the Gleaners toil in the service of the greatest good. Erenwil accepts this answer for the time being, but warns the forum members that the Gleaners will not go on working like this forever. Afterwards, Erenwil gives the frogs a look, having easily seen through their disguise. He then tells the party that he hopes the conversation was informative, before taking his leave. Returning to Kryle's side, she offers the warrior a heartbloom flower, imbued with a spell to keep it from wilting, telling him that Hydaelyn had told her that he will need it for the journey ahead. She then becomes a vessel for Hydaelyn, who tells him, walk free and to believe what he will of his own volition. The bloom will serve as his guide.
I can't really believe in things without going to a meeting first, though.
For others to follow. Before they can investigate the mysteries of Labyrinthos further, Master Fortuno appears in the capacity of an active member of the Forum to intervene, since he believes their meddling may impact the important work being done. He tells them that the Forum will convene to determine their future in the city, and that Grahatia has already been detained for reading books from the restricted section of the library.
Dang it!
The Forum apprehends the Scions, and as
We
the
need to have a
Forum
meeting
believes,
about that too.
Forgeneau accuses the Scions of having entered their country under false pretenses, their true objective being to disrupt their work. The Scions make their case, and
I am
Stoller
genuinely
reveals
left
that they
wondering
know that
how
the
much
Forum now
of this
struggles
just
to complete some
cutscenes and
great
how little
work,
of it has gameplay.
even though the
I
Scions
don't
still
think
haven't
we even have
uncovered
traveled
exactly
here.
what that work
I don't think
is.
we've
Just
actually.
stuck here.
I don't even think we've had a single
This
dungeon
seems to
yet.
verify Graha's
We're like,
findings.
well, we're only 10
Explains
minutes
how
in,
the
you know.
policies of Sharlayan have
It's
shifted
like 3
dramatically
hours in 14
from
time.
accumulating knowledge for the betterment of society.
No, I can
to structuring
imagine. You
society
see
for
how
the
much
betterment
cutscene
of
and
the
info
accumulation
dumplings
of
going on.
knowledge, especially in regard to Labyrinthos, as obscene funds have been afforded to the expansion of those facilities. According to Graha, this change in course dates back to some 270 years, when Sharlayan scholars began their study into the ethereal sea. Upon hearing this, Forgeneau admits that they are bound to duty they cannot ignore, and say that they will fulfill their mission, not through battle and bloodshed, but rather survival. Unconvinced, Istola declares that the Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until their last breath. Alphino similarly declaring his commitment to press on, to tread
The
a
Scions
different
declare that
path
they
from
will
his
walk to the
father.
end. They are also known as the
Suddenly,
Endwalkers,
discussion is
Rob's
brought to a
title.
close, as scholar Montaigne, the head of the studium, defends the Scions, leading the Forum to simply restrict their activities, as opposed to outright banishing them after a vote which wins them a slender majority.
So, like,
After
I'm
receiving
actually
such
thinking
a
about this.
harsh
We're obviously
welcome
not
from
gonna
the
do it
country,
because we're the good guys, but what is
Alphino and
stopping...
Alizé return
What
to
is stopping us from
Hosnier,
just saying, hey, listen, you
company
can't
of
ban
their
us because we'll
mother,
just beat the shit out of you.
who instructs the servants to keep
They don't
their
even want to
visit a
fight, so
secret
it's
from
like,
Lord
you
Forgeneau.
know, it's easy.
She then instructs the
They
servants
already
to take
declared
their
they don't
children
want to
aside
fight,
and present
so,
them with gifts
you
she
know,
had prepared for them.
just saying like, well, we'll
But
fight
once
then. It's like,
alone with
oh,
the
fuck.
warrior
I mean,
of
can you
light,
pause it right there?
Aliens think-
There's something important there that you make a good point of. Why are they straight up preventing them from going into the library anyway? What purpose do you have? Yeah, you want to you're working behind the scenes for survival as like a backup plan, right? Why can't you let the Scions do their research and stuff to try and beat the evil? Right? Why can't you work on both fronts? Why do you need to be stubborn? Why the need for this conflict? There's no reason for this. Am I crazy?
Yeah, and from the Scion side, I was just making the idea of like, they specifically state they will avoid bloodshed or fighting altogether. So it's like, what are you gonna do when a bunch of fighters are saying, well, we're gonna stay here and we're just gonna do it anyway? It's like, you already declared you're not going to fight, so it's like,
Yeah, then what is your purpose on trying to stop us, right? Restrict us or ban us
like,
straight up from going.
you're
in?
only lucky that the Scions are reasonable and will listen to rules.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that there's not a single evil force that has come and just taken over the school is fucking funny when you think about the fact they're so avoidant to fighting.
Well, I think just sometimes I know it sounds crazy, but maybe they taken more of the Island Nation approach of it's like we are completely going to ignore the rest of the world, but don't dare touch us or we'll explode you with Ultima.
See, that is something that I was considering, but how much experience do they have with fighting to actually be able to ward off like enemies like that?
Good question.
It's
Just
also-
throw Ultima into the seas and they'll see what happens.
Yeah, like, I think I need to see more before I can, like, you know, completely make that judgment of, like, oh, they're fucking stupid. It's like, so far, it's just, like, imagine me declaring to Ennis, like, oh, I'll never fight. When he wants something from me, it's like, okay, I'll just fucking punch you in the nose and take it then.
Or I'll just take whatever you want. You'll not fight back anyway.
Yeah, it's
What are
like,
you going to do? Stop me?
yeah, I already declared I'm not going to, so, yeah. That only works to someone that's reasonable.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Thanks him for taking such good care of her children and inspiring them to greatness. As the twins return, they are adorned with a new set of clothes, individually tailored to their needs. Furthermore, Alphino was presented with a set of sage armaments that once belonged to his father, his mother hoping they will serve him well, as he simultaneously leads
At least their mom is still
and
pretty
becomes
nice, I
armed
guess.
on the field of battle. She then hands Alphino a
This
sage's
is what I
soul
mean
crystal,
by, you know,
hoping that
there's
the
no
wisdom
reason not
embedded
to
in the
help.
crystal will
This-
serve him well, believing he will master his new role in no time. Lastly,
Of course, it's not that
Amelians
difficult.
expresses her hope that one day they will find
Playing
a common
healer,
ground with
14.
their father. For even though it's hard to tell,
And it's really hard,
she believes
okay?
that
I have to
their
both
father
heal
ever
and press
toys
the
with his
DPS button
children's
once in
best
a while.
interests at heart. Having exhausted their investigation in Old Charlian for the time being, the Warrior of Light meets up with Thank,
Of course, another meeting.
and Estinian to look for answers elsewhere, at last following Kryel's lead. Through an experimental aetheryte, the party then travels to Thamnia, but once there, they are racked by an agonizing wave of ethereal sickness, which can be attributed to the aetheryte's experimental nature. That is, aside from Estinian, who had already attuned to the aetheryte in Thavnia proper. As they regain their
Estinian just comes in and is like, what's wrong with you? With his fucking weak ass bitches, man, I swear to God.
Work. A secluded village of alchemists, teetering on the edge of collapse. There they are introduced to Varshan, a young aura who serves the enigmatic satrap, the provincial governor who rules from the city of Ratsat-Han. Estinian eyes Varshan with thinly veiled suspicion, but chooses to bide his time. Despite the tension, Varshan presents the villagers with some scales, shimmering with untapped power. These scales are the last hope of the alchemists who are desperate to forge warding talismans against the mind-twisting horrors of the towers. Estinian's unease deepens as he recognizes the scales as dragon scales. Seeing as he has a long history with dragons and is still keenly aware of the legacy of the Dragon Song War, he demands the truth behind the origin of the scales. Upon being questioned, Varshan reveals that the satrap has brokered a covenant with a dragon, who is willing to aid their cause, and before Estinian can press the matter further, he is led away by alchemists interested in researching his dragon-like powers.
The fuck is wrong with these people?
Using the scales, the alchemists hope to nullify the etheric emissions emanating from
this is the equivalent of being chased by
one such
trannies.
tower already looming over
The absolute
landscape
horror
in
in this
Thamnia.
ice is fucking great.
The Scions assist in testing the talismans, and once their work is
You could almost convince me that maybe they actually made a bit some effort into the cutscenes for
presents the
once.
Scions with a warding scale, meant to shield
But then
the
I
soul.
remember that this guy is also picking
Corrupt
probably all the
ether.
more interesting cutscenes too.
This is quite a discovery, as it might allow
It's gonna be
anyone
at least
to approach
like
the towers
10
without
hours worth
fear
of
being
cutscene that's not
taken over
interesting.
by their influence, even without possessing the echo. To test the efficacy of the item, the Warrior of Light and Netana enter the Tower of Salt, a sinister spire looming over the island. Thankfully, the experiment is a result.
Alright, 50 minutes in, we get our first dungeon, guys.
15 minutes. And the interesting part too is that that we didn't need to do anything to get there, to gain the trust of the alchemists, it seems. At least there's no mention of that, which was interesting.
Now the alchemist already gangbanged Estinian, so we don't need to do more.
Yeah, you're right. Before you start, my
Success.
brother was asking for help, so I have to real quick help.
Oh man. What the fuck? Okay. Yes, we're going back to here. I don't remember what I was doing. Alright, Team Rocket. No, this sucks. Actual worst case scenario here. Someone has to die. And I choose it to be Simi Sage. I remember the problem now. This guy doesn't have. He don't fucking have a move that can actually work. I think Team Rocket might be the worst possible team I could have gotten, besides maybe Team Flare and also this team. I should have Shadow Dance instead, I don't know. If I got Team Aqua instead, now that would have been great. Does anyone need that? Maybe you, I don't know. But I need some modest nature. Ooh, global trade system. Venomoth, Persian, Samurai. Samurai could have been neat. Alright. Those are some trash options. Third pick could have. It sounds like a fun idea. I don't know though. Oh, but yeah, Torterra is unfortunately not a very good Pokemon. Alright, everything's predetermined, so we can just test this out. That would have been so cool in a different run! Fuck! In a different run, it could have been really cool. Alright. I want to see if I can just get a better grass type. Okay, it's all Gible. God, that would have been so good in a different run. Holy shit. There were so many dragon type or ground type. I haven't had a ground type one, but there were plenty of type ones where that would have been great. Let's just trade an item instead. Okay. Do we have a walk type move somewhere? Someone had to excel a walk. Who was it? It was you, it was Shumish. That didn't do anything. I really need some of these Pokemon to evolve, otherwise I'm really screwed. What does Worry Seed even do? A seed that it prevents sleep by making the target's ability insomnia. Very niche use. I guess with the sword stance you might as well have bite. Oh wait, I should have used the shield more often with Maractus. That was my mistake. Who uses the Leaf Stone? No Sleep uses the Leaf Stone. That's good. We need him to evolve as well. I don't actually think Shift 3 is that good. We don't have many good grass types either. Oh man. Yeah, Leaf Tornado, I don't know. Wait, does he have better special attack than attack? No, wait, that's just a nature. Does anyone even have fighting type moves? Oh yeah, those have Sacred Swords. Oh yeah, we can just use that. Really? Revenge? Okay. Alright then. If that's what he's going to do, then my better option would be to throw in Fungus instead. And the status affect him. Or something like that. I don't have that. Oh.
And I'm back. Was it so exciting? Such a thrilling moment.
No, grass types suck. They absolutely fucking suck.
Yeah, you are playing a very difficult one.
1, 2, 3.
As Nitana is uninfluenced by the tower. However, as they celebrate the ward's effectiveness, Fandaniel appears. His dark magic ensnaring Nitana and pulling her into the tower's depths. Giving chase after her, the warrior of light confronts Fandaniel inside the tower. There, the sundered Ascian reveals his past to the warrior, the experience further enlightened by the power of the Echo. Fandaniel tells him that, theoretically speaking, he inherited the position and the soul of the Fandaniel who sat on the Convocation of 14, the time of the final days. Practically speaking, however, that fact is of no consequence to him, as he was born and lived as himself. Eventually, he was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Fandaniel's knowledge and memories, but he never truly felt like they were a part of who he was. Knowing that the warrior has poked his nose into an Allagan ruin or two, he then divulges that he was once the one and only Amon, the Allagan scientist who twisted life into grotesque experiments to entertain a decadent empire, though he always longed for more. During that time, he had pledged his allegiance to Emperor Xande, a tyrant who dragged his people into conquest to further an empire intended to stand the test of time. However, Emmet Selk offered Amon the mantle of Fandaniel, telling him to take his place amongst his peers, rather than to die a pointless death amidst the ashes of a doomed nation. Amon, driven by despair and ambition, accepted Emmet Selk's offer, leaving his clone to serve Xande in his stead, while he ascended as an Ascian, noting how even the once great Allagan Empire was destined for nothingness, proving that nothing truly endures.
So,
having listened to Fandaniel's tale,
one of the ancients
became
one of the elegants was like just a guy, and then he was promoted to Asian,
summoned to
and then he became Frikandel.
The elusive satrap.
Yeah.
However,
okay.
As the satrap bids them welcome,
one of the interesting things, because I did recognize the
out,
name,
as he accuses the satrap of deception.
The Elegant Tower raid, he is one of the boss fights too, or at the very least, apparently his clone is one of the boss fights.
There stands Vertra, a mighty worm, son of...
But like, I thought, wasn't the story of the Asians that they were the original people that lived in the original version of the world where they were all together? So like, is him being promoted to Asian, does it also mean that all other versions of him across all the different worlds have like joined together, which caused him to turn into an Asian, or
I don't know about that part.
How does that work?
The Asian, no, the Elegant were just another empire created by the Asians to try and get the worlds to unite again, as far as I remember from Shadowbringer.
But how does this? But how does one become an Asian? Because I thought the whole point of the Asians were that they were those that survived, or like were the ones that are still whole.
That's a really good question. I don't remember that detail at all, and for some reason, as you can tell, Frikandel somehow escaped the purging because we killed most of the Asians at this point.
Yeah.
So he's just literally he was just hired last minute and wasn't there at the meeting when everybody got killed.
He also didn't like meetings, just like us. Maybe we have more in common than we think.
Or maybe he's more like a self-insert at this point.
Yeah.
Last minute edition or an Aspel.
Midgardsormur, and sibling to Tiamat and Bahamut. For centuries, Vertra has ruled from the shadows, driven by an unyielding love for his people. What is more, Varshan, the boy whom they thought they were already familiar with, is in fact the dragon himself. The boy's body having been fashioned as a simulacrum, capable of nesting the great worm's eye, allowing him to travel his realm without revealing his true nature. The dragon's plea is as heartbreaking as it is desperate. The tower must fall, and his imprisoned people must be freed. The Scions promise their aid, but recognize the enormity of the task ahead. For now, they must regroup.
Of course, have to have a
forge
meeting
plan
first.
to challenge the forces of the Telepharoi, knowing that every moment counts in a battle against despair itself. Back at the Annex, the Scions regroup, their path forward now clear, yet still fraught with peril. With Vertra's request weighing on their hearts, and the promise of the warding talisman within their reach, their decision is made. The Tower of Sot must fall. They devise a bold plan.
That they had to
dividing into
decide
two
on this as
teams.
if it wasn't the evil
One
created
team
by the
will
Forge.
break through the tower's defenses and face the Mega Sisters, the twisted guardians bound to its will. The other will safeguard the imprisoned.
Wasn't the
people
Tower of
firmly,
Zot also in another
sustaining
Final
their
Fantasy game?
fragile lives
Yes.
until the core of the tower
Was it
is
9
destroyed.
or was it a different game?
The assault is executed
remember.
with
I
precision
don't exactly
and
remember.
grit.
I do
As the
remember
Mega Sisters fall,
the
the
name.
tower's defenses crumble. The Scions converge at
Final
its heart.
Fantasy IV.
An ominous
Right,
revelation
just for,
awaits.
of course, the whole game's
Massive
story is
pulsing machine,
mimicking 4 in some
draining ether
aspects.
far beyond what is needed to sustain the tower.
At least it has all
Pistola,
references
driven by
to it.
both curiosity and dread, uncovers its horrific secret. A human limb serves as the core's heart,
Okay.
grotesquely fused with machinery. Estinian, unmoved by her horror, demands swift action, and with a decisive blow...
My
the
god, this is
core
powered by a human limb.
forcing
Shut the fuck
tower
up,
to
cat girl. Let me
crash
solve
down.
this.
As the structure disintegrates, Graha weaves levitation magic to suspend the Scions and the liberated prisoners in the air, guiding them safely to the ground below. The Scions then return to Razadhan, where the great
You know,
worm
that entire
Vertra
climb
awaits
to
their
the Tower
return.
of Zod, just fight.
He offers his
just
gratitude
5
and his
seconds.
aid,
Nobody cares.
promising to provide them with a bounty of warding scales sufficient to
As the
arm an
story
entire
stops,
company
but
of
it sucks how
soldiers.
short it is.
Before allowing him to take his leave, Vertra then addresses the warrior.
To us, it seems short because this man is there for us to explain all the important details. In reality, this took us like 6 hours.
Just to get here,
Yeah.
Of light, and urges him to protect those he holds dear, for they will be his
I think this would be like
strength
2
and salvation.
streams,
In the
perhaps.
bustling capital, Nitana, now recovered, greets the Scions with unrestrained joy. Her passion stirs something profound in the warrior of light, causing the heart bloom he received in Labyrinthos to bloom a brilliant orange. Intrigued, Nitana wonders aloud if this is Akasa, the intangible force theorized in Hanish alchemy, born of emotions and separate from ether. Returning to the Baldesian Annex, the Scions assess their newfound strength. With the warding talisman secured, they are ready to summon their allies and strike at the heart of Garlemald, without fear of its oppressive dominion. Plans are set in motion to rally their friends and comrades. But for now, they allow themselves a rare respite, sharing food and laughter. They find fleeting comfort in each other's company.
They have
eating
burgers.
hamburgers the size of their heads.
I need to go on Twitter and complain how about this is like political and how this is about American imperialism
No doubt
somehow.
moved by their feelings of friendship. Elsewhere, far removed from the warmth of the camaraderie shared with the Scions, in the icy expanse of Garlemald, Xenos and
Speaking
Fandaniel
of American
stand amidst the
imperialism.
desolation they have wrought.
And it's immediately has a video with a burger like ready
They revel
to whenever
in the
someone
fleeting
talks about
joys
it.
left in the world, they intend to reduce to
You
ash.
remember Big Planet Burger?
Xenos looking forward to
Persona
being
5?
reunited
Yeah?
with the Warrior of Light,
Maybe we should go to
the
check
only
and
one who
do
can set
the
his
challenge.
soul aflame.
Yeah.
As dawn breaks, the Warrior of Light joins Kryl, Alize, and Alphino on a quest for more answers. And together, they visit Skolark Monteshane, who had previously helped them during their run-in with the Forum. Upon meeting him, Monteshane tells them that he has always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. He tells the twins that Master Louisoix would have been proud of how they conducted themselves in front of the Forum. Alphino asks Monteshane whether he can tell them anything about this duty they believe they must fulfill, but Monteshane regrets to inform him that he can tell him nothing, as he is sworn to secrecy. Furthermore, said secrecy is enforced by an enchantment, which makes it impossible for him to break his oath
That's
without
fair.
the express permission of the Forum. To explain how this is possible, Monteshane gives them a lecture on etherology,
Oh god damn
explaining the
it.
division between the soul, memory, and the corporeal
I
form.
didn't want to go to
He
school.
asks them to
Sir,
think
this
of the
all
soul
started at
as
the dawn of
spirit,
civilization.
memory, the words written upon it. Then he asks them to imagine
Every character in Final Fantasy XIV is essentially just a YouTuber who is about to have a video essay where they start about talk about the dawn of civilization before they can get to the point.
This is the secret behind why he can't break his oath. But at the same time, this phenomenon was also witnessed following the 7th Umbral Calamity, where the people of Eorzea lost their memories regarding the aftermath of Bahamut's rampage. In order to undo this enchantment, 9/10 of the Forum must agree. Only then will they be able to share the secret behind their sacred.
If there's anything I've learned in democracy is that you'll never have 9/10 of anyone agreeing with anything.
The Scions are met with warriors from every guild and faction across Eorzea, standing side by side. A diverse and talented group of individuals.
We got a bunch of dragon skills, and this allows us to summon like everyone.
Not only for the sake of Eorzea.
No, I believe the dragon skills are specifically there to protect us from the influence of something.
They are even joined.
Oh, and that's what allows for everyone to join.
Despite having earned his reputation as somewhat of a coward. Furthermore, they are joined by factions from Dalmasca, Oja, and Alamigo, all lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire, but are now willing to fight to protect its people. The common folk of the very same empire.
It's like that Gintama ending scene where everybody's
as a representative
here.
of Alamigo, please reiterate.
Isn't that like?
All have to say their piece.
I think that's most modern stories, and I'm not even against it. I personally would do the same, to be honest. I have done this. I don't think, but I've literally done the same thing. I'm not allowed to complain.
I provided them with airships.
I know. I always think about how Gintama pulls it off, and it's like there's always a scene where somebody appears out of nowhere to give their
near the capital's perimeter.
I swear there's
why they're here to help. Doing it every time.
What awaits them, however, is grim. A coalition of tempered imperial legions, former enemies, now united under the Telephoroi's banner. The campaign begins with precision. Thancred leads a covert team to disable Magitech reinforcements, while the main force divides, one group escorting supplies, the other breaching their defenses. The Warrior of Light weaves between these efforts, lending strength.
Is this a dungeon or a duty, I wonder?
Success comes at a cost.
Duty.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Secures a foothold, establishing a camp.
Look at all the
in the
NPCs
ghostly
here. If you haven't
ruins of a
played here, it
town
would ruin
they
it all.
christen Camp Broken Glass, named for the sound of cracking ice beneath their feet. With the camp secure, the Scions scatter to their tasks.
Oh look, it's
Thancred
absolutely a
leads
duty because
scouts
now we
into
have the
city.
town.
Machinists
Yeah.
toil over damaged Magitech, and Ishtola tends to the tempered with healers from Gridania. The warrior joins Alice, Alphino, and the disgraced Emanelaine in a search for survivors in the eastern wastes. It is there they spot a lone figure in green, darting through the snow. Following her leads them to a crumbling manor, where a small group of survivors clings to life, their stories painted with despair. The survivors recount the night Garlemald fell, a monstrous roar that tore through the city, turning allies into mindless thralls. Some cling to hope, believing the Emperor's voice, heard through crackling radios, signals his return. They plead for help, contacting the Tappers, outcasts who survive by harvesting ceruleum from frozen lakes. The Scions learn of the Tappers' tenuous existence, reliant on their craft to trade for survival in a land that once scorned them. But trust is fragile. When the Scions return to the manor, tensions explode. The woman in green reveals her sick sister, sparking panic. Accusations fly, and the sisters flee into the frozen wilderness, choosing the merciless cold over risking betrayal by outsiders. Wounded, but understanding, Alice and Alphino resolve to return to camp and report what they've learned of the locals' fear and mistrust. Back at Broken Glass, Lucia and Maxima uncover grim truths about Garlemald's collapse. A civil war stoked by lies and fear, funded by Fandaniel and House Brutus. An earthquake and a terrible roar enslaved the city, leaving only those near radios, coincidentally emitting a protective field, untouched by the tempering.
I'm pretty certain around that time I was just sitting on a stone thinking, okay, that's interesting.
Of a Gallian soldier
Wonder what happened.
supplies. The prisoner,
He's just
a youth
sitting
named
there.
Eulus,
He doesn't care.
lashes out, calling Lucia and Maxima traitors for aiding outsiders.
Shadowbringers at least didn't
Despite
seem
his
like he
banner,
really was doing
the
much
Scions extend
after he
mercy,
took the throne. He
offering
just
aid
sat
for his
there.
people. Eulus reluctantly agrees to
Like, what
lead
does
them to his
Vikendal
command,
doing anyway?
but his disdain is
I
palpable.
think he just brings
Dismissing
chaos in
Alphino
there for
and
the fun
Alice
of
as
it. He's just
children
sitting there enjoying
unfit
the
for
show.
task. Lucia's unwavering confidence in the trio sets them on their path. The journey through the icy ruins ends at a hidden stronghold, where Lord Quintus von Cinna awaits. The Legatus, weary yet unbroken, meets their plea for peace with scorn. To him, their unity is hypocrisy, a facade to enslave Garlemald. His piercing question silences the twins. Why reject the Empire's unity only to pursue their own? Declaring the Scions prisoners,
I think it's
Quintus
because,
stabs
like, the
warrior
Garlemald
with
unity
shotgun,
is like, oh, we're all going to
warns
die, and then we
enemy
become
fighters
whole, I
will be
swear.
met with pain for their allies.
And the other one being like, well, we can all just stay
Now
alive
trapped in
together.
enemy territory, the Scions must navigate.
But like, why do you not want to die? I don't understand
finding threads
this.
of hope amidst a fraying tapestry of pride, despair, and unspoken truths. Yet the Scions see the truth. Supplies are dwindling, and the remaining cerulean reserves are barely enough to keep the cold at bay. Alphino suggests...
Oh, Ennis, do we have to do a cross off
But
that
Eulus
we have to, like,
as rumors speak
get
of
their trust in order to
reinforcements
proceed?
of a lifeline arriving from
Does this
beyond
one count?
the
This is the moment, yeah, this is probably is
However,
one.
Alphino
Yeah, that's why we
argues
have to-
that survival cannot hinge on whispers.
Make one count.
Took a while.
Reluctantly, Eulus takes the matter to Quintus, but the Legatus refuses all aid.
Kind of proud of
As such,
Endwalker.
scavenging is their only recourse for survival. Huddled together in their cell, the twins reflect on the long road that led them here. Alphino's political failures, the shattered dream of the Crystal Braves, LSA's endless search for purpose, the lessons learned amidst the wreckage of Dalamud. They have lost before. They will rise again. The warrior and Eulus travel into the ruined city to see what they can find, but their foray yields little. But even a handful of ceruleum is a victory. As they search, Eulus watches the Scions with wary curiosity. He has spent his life seeing Eosians as usurpers, but their actions defy his expectations. They do not hoard, they do not mock, they give. Beyond the ruins, Eulus and the warrior tread through the snow. Eulus pauses at the remnants of a home, its shattered walls whispering of a past stolen too soon. It was once his mother, his siblings, waiting for him to return. But the day he was meant to bring them to safety, he arrived too late. The Telophoroi had claimed them, turned them. He did what duty demanded. He ended their suffering with his own hands. Eulus asks whether they might have been saved had they turned to the gods of the Eosians, but he doesn't entertain the blasphemous thought too long. At Camp Broken Glass, Eulus delivers Quintus's demands for returning the twins. Lucia listens, then calmly states the truth, telling the young makeshift emissaries that Thancred and his scouts have already freed the twins. The collars are gone. Eulus falters, horror creeping into his eyes, and then chaos. Quintus's true orders unfurl like a noose. The Legion strikes. Garlean soldiers and Magitech war machines surge forward, but the wind howls in defiance. A mighty gust.
But we'd have normally we'd have a dungeon in between that. I guess that wasn't too important to the story.
Invocation. Lucia steps forward, voice steady, telling Eulus that Garlemald's 10th Legion has reached out to the Grand Company of Eorzea. The Empire is broken, its scattered remnants desperate for purpose. They have asked for aid, and with that, she delivers a message meant for Quintus, asking his legion to stand down so that they might help the people of Garlemald. Over the radio, the Legatus listens. Recognition flickers in his weary eyes. With a simple nod, he orders his forces to halt. The battle is over. His dream is dead. He dismisses his men, releases them from duty, and takes one last moment to mourn the vision of a Garlemald that will never be. A gunshot rings through the air,
Damn,
and the
he
Legatus
Minecrafted
is no
himself.
more. His blood covering the mark of Garlemald, an emblem depicting 3 chains joined together. The one in the center painted red, in remembrance of those who have bled for the Empire. That night, there is a celebration held at Camp Broken Glass, and even Eulus is invited, despite his many failings. Eulus stumbles towards the fire, where an Alamegan soldier offers him a steaming cup. He watches the Eorzeans bickering, laughing, clashing in spirited debate, as though the world is not crumbling beneath them. They speak not as conquerors, nor as saviors, but simply as people. Yullus, the proud soldier, the defiant patriot, finally breaks. His wall crumbles, and for the first time in too long, he allows himself to grieve, tears streaming down his cheeks. Then a sound shatters the fragile peace. A monstrous roar bellows from the Tower of Babel, another imposing spire, much like the Tower of Zot back in Thevnir. The radio crackles, carrying the unmistakable voice of a dead emperor. Warding talismans ignite as those unprotected begin to fall, their minds no longer their own, and in the chaos, a familiar voice calls to the warrior of light. The warrior turns
Hey, look,
to
Ennis,
find
it's
a
our next
Renaissance
dungeon.
soldier staring back.
Oh, nice.
But it is not a soldier. It is
Oh, for
Fandaniel.
fuck's sake, I hate his face so
With a
much.
smile, the Asian strikes, and darkness swallows the world as the warrior loses consciousness. The warrior awakens to an unusual sight. A dining table, a monstrous chamber, and across from him, Xenos, watching with quiet amusement. Fandaniel welcomes the warrior with the glee of a host unveiling a grand feast, and invites him to try out his new
Just
form.
pause.
Yeah.
Frikandel, basically, when we met him back at the Tower of Zod, it was Frikandel that was just telling us the backstory.
Yes.
And so, oh, I see.
And now he summoned us to dine with our enemy while he's dressed as a butler because he finds it funny, I think.
Yeah, I forgot that he also used Xenos biggest fangirl as his host,
Yes.
as the body.
Warrior looks down, and an unnatural spectacle unfolds as he realizes that he is not in his own body. The limbs, the hands, the reflection staring back, they are a stranger to him, as he is trapped in the form of a nameless Gallian soldier. Fandaniel hums, pleased with himself, and tells the warrior that the mind-jacking technique he's now experiencing was conceived of long ago. However, Fandaniel, ever the artist, has improved upon the science of stolen flesh. And then the roar is heard again, a terrible deafening sound from the depths of the chamber. The warrior stiffens in confusion, and Fandaniel obliges him with an explanation. He tells the warrior that the Empire might have rejected gods and outlawed faith, but that belief cannot be erased, only redirected. Therefore, when war consumed Garlemald, the people cried out, not to the 12, nor to nameless deities, but to one figure who had towered over them for generations, Emperor Varys. Their desperation, their devotion, their final plea for salvation, all had been funneled into his rotting corpse.
What's the thing about fighting the thing you hate and then becoming it?
Born. Anima.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The towers, the chains, the siphoning of ether, all were mere conduits.
But it's never to reveal him then, right? It's always like
drawing strength from the world
a remade
itself,
version of that
feeding
person
into
if they
the
were
Tower
to
of
like
Babel.
be summoned as
Xenos
a
cares
as a
for none of
primal.
this. His hunger is singular.
You know,
He
this
tells
is
the
funny
warrior
enough what I was
that he has
actually
honed his
expecting
craft,
back when
that he will make this battle worth the struggle.
the end of
that their
Heaven's Word,
dance
when
will
they
be
summoned
legendary.
Shinryu.
Then he reveals the warrior's
I was
true
expecting
body.
a completely
With a
different
single
summon that
smirk,
would make sense.
Xenos
considering
wields
it's
his
Shinryu.
artificial echo, tearing his soul free and claiming the warrior's form as his own. He then vanishes, leaving the warrior trapped, nameless, and cast into a city teeming with tempered beasts.
It would be funny if he then becomes
The warrior of
Zeno.
light has fallen. Now, in
That
the
would be a
body of
funny body
common
swap. It's like,
soldier,
yeah.
he must
Now
claw
what?
his way back to Camp Broken Glass, before his own flesh, worn by a monster, unleashes havoc upon the ones he holds dear. Through shattered streets and corridors of frostbitten ruins, the nameless Gallian soldier moves like a phantom, silent, unseen, a lone shadow in a city of ghosts. Their stolen body aches with wounds, the weight of unfamiliar limbs slowing each desperate step. Somewhere beyond the
Imagine
ruins,
being a lot
his
of
true
fun not
body
being used to be
awaits.
so tall.
I know, right?
Somewhere beyond this nightmare, the Scions are searching for him. At Camp Broken Glass,
There could be a part of the legend too. It's like, wow, so this is what it feels to be a king. Holy shit!
minds
You're not a king, you're just a soldier now.
The
But being me being this, I'm the
Templars
king
stolen from the
now.
abyss. Yet one thing remains unresolved: the matter of the missing champion. Then, on the horizon, a lone figure stumbles into view. Excitement surges through Graha and Alizé, and a flood of relief washes over them at the sight of their friends.
They don't know, Ennis. They have no idea.
However, Ishtola hesitates, her gaze
And he
narrowing.
pulls the katana.
Something is wrong. The ether, subtle, shifting, is not as it should be. And then the false warrior smiles. A shadow ripples through the air as they raise a hand.
And he summons a stand.
Of the void. The twisted creature lunges, its claws thirsting for blood, only to be stopped mid-flight by the gleam of a thrown blade, piercing through its form and scattering it like mist. Graha, Alizé, and the imposter turn in unison to face the one who cast the blade. A lone Gallian knight stands at the edge of the battlefield, their voice raw as the warrior demands his body back. Xenos, wearing the stolen flesh of the warrior of light, meets the challenge with amusement. And then steel sings as the two clash in a vicious exchange. The imposter and the unknown knight lock
I guess
in
Xenos is
battle,
also weaker
neither
in our
is meant
body.
to fight. The world blurs. The unnatural bond between body and soul begins to unravel, and then Fandaniel arrives. He watches the spectacle unfold with a smirk, folding his arms as if entertained by a well-rehearsed play. The pieces fall into place. The beasts, the tempered, the suffering. It was all by his design. He needed time, needed them distracted, needed them occupied while he fed Anima, while he gathered the ether that would undo the very foundations of the world. Xenos, now fully in control, turns to the warrior, still trapped in another's form. There is no urgency in his voice, no gloating, only certainty. He tells the warrior that he will feast upon his world, and asks him to render unto him all his hate, all his rage, so that he might savor their battle to the fullest. The warrior's vision darkens, and the stolen body collapses.
Yes, give in to your anger, give in to your hate,
He
fight
is surrounded by familiar voices, welcoming him back. His own limbs, his own flesh, returned. However, there is no time to recover further, as Fandaniel's plan nears its final stage.
So,
The Tower of
theoretically,
Babel looming before
what
them.
Frikandel could do to stop us
Graha
entirely is
speaks
to
of
put
its
us in a
name,
useless body and
the old
imprison us
Alaga,
without us
meaning
understanding what is
gateway of the
happening.
gods. A title
They
once
kill us.
given to the void
Yeah,
gate
I
of
don't
the
even
Crystal
think they have to
Tower.
kill us though.
But there is no
They don't have to
time
make sure
dwell
our
on
soul doesn't
history.
go anywhere, they can
A
just like
plan
lock us
must
up.
be forged.
Whatever.
The strategy is twofold: a full-scale assault to draw the Telephoro's forces away, while a smaller strike team infiltrates
You know,
the tower
on it, it's a
itself.
good thing that the villains
The
in this
underground
story are
tunnels
just
that
fucking
once
like, oh,
fed
we want to be
millions of
entertained,
bodies
otherwise we'd be in
will now
danger.
serve a different purpose, as the path of their salvation. Through steel corridors and the echoes of suffering, the Scions carve their way through the tower's defenses, and at its heart, the icon stirs. Anima, twisted, unnatural. A god born of grief and madness writhes against them with immeasurable fury. But it is not invincible, not today. When the beast falls, the group presses on.
Estinian just always goes for the attack, for the kill.
Daniel and Xenos stand waiting. The Tower
It must
of
be nice
Babel,
being not a
now
playable
brimming
character.
with gathered
I know,
ether,
right?
suddenly fires
Even
its
gets cool
accumulated
animations and
energy
stuff.
toward the heavens. Blast collides with the arcane defenses enshrining the moon, disrupting the prison that has held Zodiac for eons, or at least partly. Making haste for the moon, Xenos and Fandaniel then depart, using a transporter to finish the job. A moment later, Heidelin once again speaks through Kryl, her voice resonating as she explains the true nature of the seals. She tells them that the seals are a brand of etheric power, designed to keep the ancient god bound. But now nearly all of them have been shattered, with only one remaining. The warrior swiftly makes his choice, as he decides to pursue Xenos and Fandaniel to the moon. toward the unknown.
Oh, we're already going to the
Toward
moon?
a battle that will decide
But
the
how?
fate of all.
I thought it would take a while.
Upon setting foot on the moon, the warrior's
Oh,
flight
just
is
teleport.
marked by a voice, a resonance ancient and sorrowful, that beckons him forward. It is not a greeting, but a lament. The presence flickers, its words unraveling in agony before vanishing into the void.
Wouldn't it be
Then
funny that
another
because
force
he's not
takes
protected
hold,
by
a
darkness,
silent pull,
he
leading
dies
the warrior through
because
the
of
lunar
suffocation.
expanse to a
Oh, there's
grand
no
crystalline
oxygen in this
basket
place,
where
fuck!
an enigmatic figure awaits.
It's
The
fine,
wolf-
Alice.
Thank you, baby.
The solemn
They could
guardian
breathe in
of the
space
moon's
in
lone
4 as
prisoner,
well.
Zodiac.
Fair enough.
With a voice akin to a whispered memory, the Watcher unveils the devastation that has unfolded. 5 of the 6 great locks binding the fallen god have been obliterated. Only one remains, hastily restored. Yet its strength falters. The prison, once a sanctuary of sacrifice, has become a beacon for the lost. Souls torn from time, now seeping into the desolate surface, their wails woven into the lunar wind. These spirits, bound to Zodiac's birth, linger in the twilight of existence, having been sacrificed to bring him forth. The warrior moves to confront the restless dead, only to be met with a tide of voices, pleas, accusations, confusion. They were promised salvation. They gave their lives to ensure the world endured. But where is the paradise they fought for? Why has their perfect star been reduced to ruin? The weight of their sorrow is suffocating. Just as the warrior begins to falter, a familiar voice cuts through the clamor. A quiet chuckle. A presence recognized not from this world, but from the recreated Amarot. It is none other than the true Hythlodaeus that was sacrificed to Zodiac along with the other wandering souls. He gazes upon the warrior with knowing eyes, amusement laced with fondness. He has never met the warrior, and yet he believes in him, just as Emmet Selk did. With a parting smile, he turns to the anguished souls, promising to guide them back into a stillness while the warrior secures the final seal. But there is no time. A shattering sound ripples through the moon. The last
The warrior
seal
stuck in
trembling
meetings
on
has
the
seen us
brink.
do his.
The warrior rushes forward.
Get ahead of
If
it.
only I
Guided by the
hadn't had that
spectral
one
hound,
fucking
Argos,
meeting.
but arrives in time only to witness Xenos' scythe cleave the final pillar apart.
I can do that too, I can become a Reaper, what the fuck.
Fandaniel, eyes alight with euphoria, watches as the last remnants of control are torn away. Even incomplete, the entity stirs with unfathomable power, its very presence a discordant wail against existence. Now stripped of Elidibus, its heart, Zodiac is nothing more than raw primal hunger, a god without a master. Xenos barely glances at the rising calamity, his gaze locked upon his only quarry, the warrior. He calls him forward, offering battle as a mere appetizer for the slaughter to come. The warrior prepares to strike, but Fandaniel interjects with a
Did
playful
they
snort,
play the MSQ as
offering
a
to make
sage?
things
As a healer?
And then,
Yeah, what a
with the
retard.
certainty of one who has long since cast aside fear, he leaps
Oh
off
no,
the
man,
ledge.
there's just no need to go
The
that
depths
far.
of the moon devour him,
To be fair, I
his
think he
laughter
did it for
turning into an
aesthetical
echoing
reasons,
scream
right?
as his
Yeah.
body
Guy,
is swallowed
villain,
by the
Reaper,
darkness
he
below.
obviously has to play Sage.
And then it begins.
Makes sense.
The prison shatters. The void rushes forth, a vortex of suffocating
To be fair
oblivion.
though, in the
warrior
intro he was
is
Paladin,
consumed by its maw.
so I could have played Paladin too.
Suspended in shadow, the cries of the dead surround them. Zodiac's fragmented consciousness stirs, its myriad voices proclaiming its purpose, the savior of the world, the shield against destruction. But the tide is silenced as a new voice rises, mocking, triumphant. Fandaniel has become the heart of the beast. His essence seeks into the ancient god's broken will, forcing it into submission. The souls that once made up Zodiac cry out, their final desperate pleas falling to nothingness as they are devoured. To combat this apocalyptic threat, the warrior of light takes the crystal of Azam in hand and reaches beyond the void, calling upon forces unseen. And so, the battle begins. Zodiac's form, twisted by Fandaniel's control, moves with devastating force. He had originally intended to pit his fractured divinity against Xenos, but seeing as the warrior is already there, he ends up being the more tempting option. The warrior fights not to slay, but to prevent the god's corruption from consuming all. In the end, he succeeds. However, victory is but a fleeting illusion. Fandaniel, battered but unbowed, speaks his final words, a parting gift. This was always the plan. With the last of his strength, he forces Zodiac's own claws into its chest, rendering the god asunder. A being never meant to fall is unmade before their eyes, its divine essence fracturing into nothingness. The first
You see,
primal,
Daniel's plan was
the
always
last
betray
wall
Xenos.
against annihilation. Gone.
I just wanted to fight the
As the
MC for
dark
the
god
funsies.
crumbles,
Frikandel's plan was, I just want to make the story.
warrior to the final
I'm the
days.
writer now.
And with a final, bitter laugh, he vanishes, his soul scattering into the ether. During his last moments, Fandaniel ruminates about how the man he was would weep for what he has now become, and the all-consuming contempt he harbors towards life. However, he claims that he is justified by the wisdom of 10 millennia, which helped him find the answer to the question of existence, ultimately choosing to end it. All shall return to nothingness. The warrior
Thanks,
of
Black
light
Pillar.
awakens,
Aye.
the
Doomer.
moon eerily silent. Where once stood Zodiac's prison, a chasm gapes, bleeding crimson light into the abyss.
But I thought Zodiac was like the final boss of the main game, so
A vision
is this
floods
like
the warrior's mind.
is this full
World
video also the
unraveled.
post
Skies choked
main
with fire.
story?
Reality itself corroding into
See
a
about it.
nightmare. The Watcher's voice,
I feel like Xenos not being
steady,
defeated means
even in
the
the face of
MSQ
calamity,
isn't over
pulls
yet.
the
Yeah.
warrior back. It was no illusion. It was the truth of what is to come. The final days have begun. Before the weight of this revelation can settle, another figure emerges from the abyss. Xenos. But for once, his blade is still. He sneers unimpressed. His quarry is distracted, consumed by thoughts of greater threats. He will not fight the warrior while his mind is elsewhere. No, he will seek power, drown the world in despair, and only then, when the warrior has nothing left but rage, will they face each other in battle once more. He walks away, his presence like a shadow cast over
Bitch,
the
I can
coming
beat
storm.
you right here and now. I've
Watcher
already
turns to
beaten
the
you
warrior,
before.
revealing
You
that
don't
his
need to
allies
make
now
me
await his
angry
return.
too.
The warrior follows the Watcher back to the tower, where Thancred, Urianger, and Ishtola await. Their expression is grim. After sharing what they have learned, they delve into the tower's records, uncovering long-buried truths regarding the unimaginable efforts required to keep Zodiac bound, and the Asian's refusal to free him before his full strength was restored. As they piece together the mystery, the Watcher speaks of the final days, and a world before the Great Sundering, where there was but a single world, Etheris. The Watcher recounts the ancient calamity, a catastrophe that began with a single sound, a roar from the heart of the planet that twisted creation itself, warping the ancients' magics into abominations of suffering. It spread like an unseen plague, striking wherever the ether grew stagnant. Zodiac was their answer, a god of darkness, of movement, of change, rewriting the very laws of nature to halt the decay. Hydaelyn knew this truth. She knew that slaying Zodiac would unmake the balance that kept the world safe. So she sundered the god, the world, and even herself. She weakened him, imprisoned him, sacrificing her own power to hold the chaos at bay. But now Zodiac is no more. Thancred asks the question that hangs heavy in the air. If the final days consume the source, what of its reflections? However, the answer is chilling in its simplicity. If the source falls, all else follows. Suddenly the moon trembles, and the Watcher turns skyward. A new plan must be enacted.
Yeah, I need to have another
They
meeting.
must rely on the lunar arc for survival. The arc is a final contingency, forged long ago by Hydaelyn. In the case all else fails, The moon will serve as a vessel, carrying the people of Aetheris to another home,
But we only need
and its pilots
2
await.
dogs, 2 deers, 2
The Watcher
cats.
leads the Scions to Argos, who
Only 2
guides them to a
humans.
great door. The
Listen,
truth about
incest
the
is
moon
okay, you know.
piloting
You just
cities
didn't try it hard enough.
As the
We can
Scions
totally
enter,
populate all
they're
2
greeted
people
to the
alone. It's
sight
okay.
of a
Don't worry.
horde of
Listen,
creatures,
listen, the dogs are there
small
for a
and
reason.
furred, who scurry around.
We're making cat girls, boy, guys. Let's
They
go.
prepare, plan, chatter in excitement. Their leader, a sprightly rabbit-like being named Livingway, greets them with enthusiasm. They are the Loporites, and they are the architects of Hydaelyn's great exodus. Loporites are thrilled to finally meet some of the people
Imagine
they meant
making
to
this
hope
the other
ferry to some
race, the
distant
extra
star,
race,
where
and
they
now
might find
the
a new home.
Lalafels have the challenger.
However, the Scions
It was
exchange
the shortest.
glances as unease begins to settle in. Livingway's knowledge is outdated, and the Loporite preparations are therefore...
I think it would be a great
laughably
Lalafell
insufficient.
versus Bunny People
In an
war.
attempt to mend this error, Urianger, ever the mediator, stays behind to aid them, while the rest of the Scions return to Aetheris, determined to stop the final days before Hydaelyn's exodus becomes a necessity. As they return to Old Sharlayan, the citizens have gathered to hear what the Forum has to say. The members of the Forum finally break the enchantment placed upon them by unanimous decree, so that they may unveil their secret, the truth of Hydaelyn's warning, the coming apocalypse, and the celestial exodus that has been in the making for generations. Understandably, however, not everyone is so eager to abandon their world and brave a new frontier, so this revelation is met with some reservations, despite perhaps being their only hope of
Guardians
salvation.
be like, well, there's the problem.
Afterwards,
What if we just
Fortuno
move
faces his
Bikini
children
Bottom
once
to the
more,
other side of
as
the
they
world?
explain to him how
Fucking
they've chosen
genius.
to live their lives. He does not apologize for his treatment of them. He does not waver. But in his eyes, the truth is clear. He is proud. All he asks is that they do not get in their way.
What is your way?
That night, the warrior dreams. The voice from the moon calls again. The vision returns. The sky burns. And in Thavnia, the nightmare begins. A cry for help has come from Radzat-Han as the final days have begun. The sky burns. The land writhes. The very air festers with corruption, and from its depths, unspeakable creatures arise. Upon arriving in Thavnia, the sky bleeds fire, and the chaos strangles the city. The acting satrap, Ahewan, meets them with graven words, telling them that the monstrosities consuming Thavnia are not mere invaders. They are its very people, twisted beyond all recognition. Their torment began with a single towering beast, an ancient horror reborn. Vertra, the true leader of the city, has flown north to Vanaspati in a desperate attempt to aid those still clinging to life. But the satrap fears that the worm's mercy will be his undoing. Aboard a storm-tossed boat, the Scions race to the jungle's depths and to Vertra's aid. The journey is a waking nightmare, as along the path they witness more people succumbing, friends, children, lovers, all unraveling into monstrosities before their eyes. At the heart of this ruin, they face the original blasphemy itself. It shrieks a final tortured lament. I'm ruined, before crumbling into dark mist. Silence follows, but it is not peace. Ishtola steps forward, her vision bound to the unseen flow of ether due to her blindness. But she sees nothing, nothing at all. There is no ether within the beast, no life, no soul to reclaim. A harrowing realization washes over her as she recalls the Watcher's warning on the moon. Ether does not simply decay, it stagnates, it dies. The creatures before them are not merely transformed, they are the result of utter oblivion, and as such, can never be saved.
That's
There is
crazy.
nothing left to save.
We're essentially just fighting zombies when you think about it.
Vertra rejoin them, the former
Yeah.
pleading for the Great Worm to step out of the shadows and lead his people as their
There were
true
basically
ruler.
7 hours through
However,
cutscenes.
Vertra resists.
This has
claiming
to
that
be at
mortals
least,
should
like,
not see him as their king,
I want to say like 10
as fear
streams.
tightened its grip in these most fragile days. The Scions agree to assist in stabilizing Radzat-Han, while Vertra, joined
You know
by
what it is like? I think the story could at least be
continues
somewhat
its desperate
interesting and
defense
fun
of
if it were as short as this
Back in
video.
the city, the Scions scatter to uncover the catalyst of this
I can only
disaster.
imagine how many
A
cutscenes
single
like has been
name
skipped in the
surfaces.
summary.
Kalzal. Once a merchant, once a man, now something else entirely. It began with failure, with loss, with ruin. The weight of shattered deals, broken dreams, and an irredeemable future crushed him until his despair swallowed him whole. He was the first, but he will not be the last. The truth is inescapable. Despair is the trigger. Graha and the warrior recall a harrowing detail. Kalzal transformed before the skies turned red. Alisay's heart sinks at the implication. There is no warning. There will be no signs before another falls. The final days are already here.
So people just randomly transform, or basically just die and become like zombie horrors.
To save her grandson in the village of Palakastan.
That's pretty crazy.
However, her cries are answered not by reassurance, but by ill fate.
I'm
Matsuya
still trying
stumbles
to
into the
grasp
square,
exactly
breathless,
how that
bearing
connects.
news that monsters have descended
Yeah.
upon the village.
I get that
And
Zodiac
then the
is
woman
like the...
transforms into a blasphemous monster.
It's essentially the one that
Convulsing
halted
wail
it.
splits the air as dark mist
I still don't
spills
really
from
quite
her form.
understand why
Her despair
Hydaelyn
is contagious. As a
was
single scream
formed
becomes a
to
hundred.
then cut him into
One
14
transformation
pieces.
ignites another.
Why
and
that
another.
was a good
It
idea.
was
The
this
city
for a
itself
moment, like-
writhes in agony.
I know I'm missing obviously some lore from like the... or missing or forgotten the lore from the last stream. Or the last
Shadowbringers.
Yeah, but for me, okay, so we get the idea that because of stagnating ether, so or basically no ether, people turn into these monsters, right?
Yes.
How? So how does that exactly connect to? Was there then? Would you then say that they were stagnating too back in the days of the Asians? Too?
That's
Was
what-
there stagnation? How would
So,
they? How
what I-
would stagnation begin?
Okay, so this is how the stagnation begins. I don't know. Apparently it was because of their own magic attack that caused that. But why that exactly does, like, the magic attack shouldn't exist anymore, so why it's causing that now, I don't really understand either. From my understanding, their own magic attack caused the ether to decay to the point where they actually just turn into abominations like this. And they then summon Zodiac to stop that, or at least Zodiac has the ability to halt the stagnation. And then some other guys, I guess, were just scared of Zodiac and like, okay, cut him to 14 pieces, okay, thanks, good. And then they imprisoned him, or Hydaelyn imprisoned him. The Asians' goal was to free him and reunite the world, obviously. And then Frikandel's like, I might not be able to watch it, but it would be pretty funny. And then kills himself as the god, which then causes the stagnation to happen.
And because Hydaelyn isn't there to do anything else, like to counterbalance it, she basically was the counterbalance Zodiac and nothing else.
Yeah.
With Zodiac gone, she's gone too, which then allows for... Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Pretty crazy.
So how will you solve this? I know.
Well,
Sacrifice the main character, make him become Zodiac.
We'll find out.
Chaos erupts.
Can you
Yet,
believe that this is an
Ahawan,
hour?
unwavering, shields.
I cannot believe this. I think this would actually be 10 streams if we were to do this. Maybe more.
I know. Thank you,
Grief-stricken
Birds of
father
Prey.
who just lost
You're
his
a
son.
legend.
Only to fall in his stead. All seems lost as the people of Ratzatan lose the man they believe to be their leader.
now
However,
more of
with
the
a
third.
resolute breath, Graha rises to the occasion and slams his staff against the ground, his voice rising above the madness. He is the Exarch once more. He commands, he steadies, he restores order. The battle turns in their favor. Half the Scions remain to aid the people of the city, while the warrior and the twins race toward Palaka's stand. Receiving news of what has transpired via Linkshell, Astinian confronts Vertra as he tells him of Ahawan's untimely demise. The former Azure Dragoon speaks plainly. Fulfill his final wish. Reveal yourself to your people. Vertra hesitates, drowning in the fear of rejection, but Astinian does not waver. If mortals and dragons were meant to be enemies, the Dragon Song War would have never ended. If we were doomed to fail, Raisvelgur and Shiva would have never found love. Meanwhile in the village, the search for Matsuya's friends begins. A husband, a wife, a child. When the husband is found, his wounds
I also do really like the designs of these like enemies. They really do instill that sense of horror as well.
The search continues. Then, a scream. The wife is found moments too late, her body wrenched and discarded like a doll. The child falls into a pool of water, and the warrior dives after it. Emerging from the water, child in hand, he finds the battle growing ever more dire. The twins are struggling, the horrors are multiplying. There is no choice. The warrior must entrust the safety of the child to Matsuya as he commands him to run. But hope is a fickle thing. Matsuya flees, yet in his arms the infant stirs. A faint cry, a wisp of shadow, and then darkness. The newborn, innocent and unknowing, begins to unravel, and so does Matsuya. Terror seizes his heart. The mist curls around him as he faces the prospect of losing the child. The jaws of despair are about to close, until steel rends it asunder. Blades slice through the abyss, carving salvation from ruin. A streak of light, a dragon's cry, Estinian and Vertra descend from the heavens, tearing through the darkness. The Matanga and the child are saved. And at last Vertra speaks his truth. Before the people of Palaka stand, before all of Razad Han,
So,
he reveals his true identity.
looking at like how it happens, the transformation seems to be based off of like despair as well. Like if someone despairs, they are going to transform, but if they actually stop their despair, they can
Isail would have
prevent
wept
it.
with joy to see dragon and man come together in peace.
I wonder how that exactly works with the stagnation of Aether, though.
That by none other than Fortuno, in the name of the Forum, he comes bearing
This is
an
at the
offer
very
of
least contagious.
salvation, telling the inhabitants of Thavnia
Damn it, I would immediately turn, I'm such a doomer.
to flee while there is time. Vertra leaves the choice to his people, but in his heart he questions
The
whether
quickest
running is
solution will
truly
just
the
give
answer.
you a wife. Oh wait, no, that
Elsewhere,
makes it
Hana and the
worse.
Scions study the blasphemies. They should not be able to move. They should not exist. They are void of ether, yet they endure. A single theory emerges. Akasa, negative emotion given form. To test it, the Warrior of Light unveils the heart bloom he received in Labyrinthos and watches it blacken to dust. The answer is clear, but the path is not. Only a single thread remains. Elpis, name given to the heart bloom flower in times of old, a whisper from the past. Alizé voices what they're all thinking. There is no one left who can tell them its meaning. But Graha speculates that might not be entirely the case, as the Warrior of Light might be able to converse with remnants of Elidibus saved within the Crystal Tower on the first. Beneath the tower in a hidden chamber, the warrior activates a long-forgotten mechanism, conjuring a spectral remnant of Elidibus. The once proud Asian is diminished.
I wonder how many side quests have been skipped in this video.
Burdened by a question he cannot fully answer. Zodiac is gone, and he no longer feels his presence. Elidibus reveals that he never knew Elpis as a flower, but rather as a place, a testing ground for nascent life, guided by a man named Hermes, whose name would later darken into infamy as Fandaniel. With the last of his fading essence, Elidibus opens a rift in the weave of time and casts the warrior into the age before the Sundering. However, he warns him that time is a river that cannot be diverted.
I like how in the end of any Japanese story, every character just has the ability of like time travel and dimension bending.
Thus begins
Including
the journey
Sonic
to
06.
Elpis. Upon arrival,
Remember when Blaze
warrior
just tells
finds
Silver to
himself
casually send her to another
in
dimension?
stature, merely ankle
Yes.
high compared to the towering ancients. The sheer density of their ether overwhelming in comparison. By chance, or perhaps fate, he is discovered by two members of the Convocation of 14, the ever-withly Hythlodaeus and the skeptical yet sharp-tongued Emmet Salk. Mistaking the warrior for a familiar of Azam, they grant him strength, form, and attire befitting the age. Their path leads to Hermes, found attending to a curious flock of aquatic creatures in the company of a childlike figure adorned with blue feathers, Meteon. In halting words, and then through clear telepathy, she confesses a kinship with the warrior. They are both different. Hythlodaeus detects her fragile etheric signature, and Hermes admits she is his project, one not yet registered with the Bureau. The trio joins Hermes for a formal
project.
meeting. Emmett Selk
Not a
brings
meeting.
important news.
For
meeting.
fuck's
Hermes has been
sake.
chosen to succeed his mentor as the next Van Daniel, but the honor is soured. His mentor is chosen to return to the star, a euphemism for death. Meteon, unfamiliar with such customs, asks the unthinkable. Is he going to die? Hermes is left shaken by the question. Among ancients, death is viewed as noble, an offering of one's essence back to the planet. Yet Hermes cannot comprehend why any soul would choose to vanish willingly. As the meeting ends, Hermes asks the warrior to accompany Meteon for a while, away from the solemnity of duty. She shares more of herself, her power to sense and project emotions, her telepathy, merely the mind's attempt to interpret raw feeling. She grows distressed when those around her are upset, as she did with Hermes. Later, joined again by Hermes, the group stumbles upon a field of Elpis flowers, strange blooms that respond to emotional energy. Like Meteon, they are entelechies, life forms able to interact directly with emotions. As such, they are able to detect Akasa, or dynamis, as it is known in Elpis, dynamis being an elusive force born from feeling, far weaker than ether, but abundant in the vastness beyond the stars. Hermes wonders aloud, what if one day dynamis could overwhelm even the mighty flow of ether?
And then he decided to destroy the world. Thank you.
Behind the laugh hides intention.
Thank
Very
you,
cool.
Frikandel.
He reveals,
Man, we fucking
was
love
born
you,
to
you
test that
asshat.
very idea. As they explore Elpis, Hermes continues his passionate defense of flawed life forms, creatures others would discard. He works to preserve. His colleagues argue for euthanization and redesign through magic. Hermes resists. These lives, however imperfect, are still lives. He even created a device, Kairos, to overwrite memory, an alternative to death. Then comes the news. A group of creatures has begun killing others without cause. Hermes departs, entrusting Meteon once more to the warrior. She confesses that Hermes sees life differently. Where others see tools, he sees potential. She wishes to cheer him up and leads the warrior to another patch of Elpis flowers. They darken, just as they do for Hermes. The shared sadness stirs something in him. For the first time, he sees he is not alone in his sorrow. Gazing skyward, Hermes speaks of the other stars, worlds unknown, possibly filled with life and dreams alien to their own. He confesses Meteon is not alone. He created countless sisters who have already taken flight into the cosmos to ask a single question. What do others live for? Soon after, Hermes is forced to destroy a violent creature he once tried to protect.
If only he plays Final
Speaks
Fantasy
gently
IX, he would have
as
found the
dies,
answer.
telling it to return with hatred in its heart if it must.
Decides to
Mankind
play
may
the
deserve
American
it.
version.
God
Emmett
damn it.
Selk pushes him again to join the convocation. This time, Hermes' reply is different, darker. He sneers, asking what the point is. If perfection is the end goal, and they must all die to attain it, what meaning is left? His voice twists, revealing the shadow of the Van Daniel to come. The warrior journeys onward with Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus, and soon encounters a woman unlike the rest, Venat, the former Azam. Venat sees through the illusion instantly, as she identifies the warrior as a traveler from the future, recognizing the blessing of light as her own traveler's ward. Pressed for answers, the warrior shares the truth about Zodiac, Hydaelyn, and the end of the world. Emmett Selk rejects it all, scoffing at the idea that he would fall so far. He storms out, leading Hythlodaeus to follow after him. But Venat stays. Together with the warrior, she begins to unravel Hermes' research, his obsession with dynamis, the creation of Meteon, and the mystery of the stars. She reveals her own truth. She has not returned to the star because she still believes in the boundless potential of mankind. She will wait as long as it takes until the world no longer needs her. They discover that Hermes regularly visits a secluded floating island. A researcher witnessed a flock of blue-feathered girls departing into the sky. To pursue them, Venat calls her familiar, Argos, the loyal moon dog. But Argos won't acknowledge the warrior. Venat insists the warrior proves himself, Through battle,
I'm putting
she
it in
tests
there.
the
The
warrior
Yeah,
dogs,
personally.
the dog counts. The dog counts.
Warrior prevails. Argos satisfied.
Yeah, 2
grants them
instances now.
passage. On the island,
Pretty
Venati
low actually for
It's
8
low,
hours.
but you have to consider how much did we skip?
Yes.
uses the echo to glimpse the past. They see Meteon, part of a vast, interlinked consciousness, receiving updates from her distant sisters. Hermes had sent them not out of ambition, but hope. A belief that others out there might value life as he does. But good intentions can still birth calamity. They find Hermes once more and share the truth of what's to come. Hermes listens and agrees. The final days sound like a phenomenon of dynamis, an emotional poison seeping through the cracks in the star's defenses. If it comes from beyond, then it may already be too late. Before the group can act, Meteon collapses, her body racked by overwhelming despair. Her sisters have returned with her answers from the worlds they visited. Worlds that are all now gone. Civilizations extinguished by war, sacrifice, or suicide. Their conclusion: life exists only to suffer. Meteon
Damn it,
declares
they
that
consulted
she and
me.
her sisters will build a nest at the end of the universe and sing a requiem. One so powerful, it will tear through ether and silence all suffering with death.
So that means it's
Despite
the
everything,
castle thing.
Hermes agrees and chooses not to dismiss Meteon's answer. If the people of Etheris are so eager to discard flawed life, why should they be spared judgment? He makes a wager. If humanity can prove itself, it will be allowed to endure. Otherwise, it too shall perish. To ensure fairness, he activates Kairos, meaning that all memories of this moment, of Meteon, of the truth, will be erased. Only Venat and the warrior manage to escape, thanks to a clever ruse by Emet-Selch and Hythlodaeus. As Argos bears them away, Emet-Selch offers a final plea. Do not squander it, the legacy I leave you. Back in the present, only Venat and the warrior remember what truly transpired. She fears that telling the convocation would fracture them and lead them to lose Hermes' research forever. So she sets forth to find her own answer to his question, to stand apart, to prepare for the despair yet to come in her own way. On his way back to the present, the warrior of light bears witness to the final days. He sees Venat stand strong as despair consumes the world, as the ancients cry to Zodiac to restore their paradise. Venat stands alone and refuses. With blade in hand, she declares the end of the old order. No longer will mankind fly above sorrow. They will walk through it. There will be no paradise without shadows. She will become Hydaelyn, and she will sunder the world. She suffers excruciating pain, breathing fire and torment as she births a world of suffering and death. 14 shards will remain where once there was one, and in their fragmented lives the people will suffer, bleed, and die. But in that crucible she hopes they will find meaning. And when they cry to the heavens, "Why must we suffer?" Hydaelyn will answer, "To grow strong, to find your purpose." For the end still comes. They must be ready to face the song of oblivion, to find amidst even the deepest despair, light everlasting. The warrior
15
of light
streams.
returns to the present day,
We get,
burdened with the knowledge
positive because of
gleaned from
food. God damn.
So basically, Hydaelyn's reason of doing what she did is like, only the strongest will survive.
She basically put humanity into the eternal grind.
She basically is like, I love the Wallachia Empire and Rizera. Let me just make it 14 volts like that.
Basically. Alright, I'll be back after some food.
Okay, then I will do the quest. I'll suffer now. Damn you, Hydaelyn! Fucking quest types. Only the strongest will survive. I'm just thinking about this, but like his attacks can't reach score, guys. Mystical walks, extend the duration of terrain and weather caused by voltage. I don't know if that's useful or not. If we get sunny day, does anyone have claw? Oh. But would anyone else benefit? I'll just give it to you. Oh man, Shroomish, please evolve. I'm so sick. You're so bad. You're so shit. Holy shit. Only the strongest will survive! Fucking grass types? Holy shit. Damn you, Heidelin! I'll blame Heidelin for every time, like, I have a slight minor issue. If I have a slight minor issue, I'll blame Heidelin for it. Oh, that's what. Oh, fuck, he has Fury Cutter. I need him to get a status effect. Why did that do so much more damage? What the fuck? Not a single status effect. What the fuck? Press the wrong button once. It doesn't matter. Special attack is... Oh yeah, we have Megatrain, yeah, I can... Finally! Holy shit! We can actually use Balloon. Why does Balloon look so sad? Holy shit, what the fuck? Is that what the shiny sprite does? What the fuck? Crazy. Poison Heal. I don't want him to have Technician, that would make him good. Yeah, we need him to get Technician. Well, let's see if he can actually pull his weight now, even without Technician. That's not bad. Not 3 level difference, I suppose. In the forest, we should be able to find maybe some grass types. Sure hope so, anyway. Preferably a shiny, but we haven't gotten a shiny charm yet, that's crazy. I don't know about this. I don't know if this is a good idea. Honestly, I think with Swords Dance, this is it's not gonna work out anytime soon. Yeah, no, we have to win. This is not. Grass types fucking suck. They fucking suck. I didn't want to fight him. Fuck. Yeah, we have to win. Double edge. Not certain. Man. Alright. It's gonna be a long fight. Or you could like get paralyzed or go to sleep or something. That'd be nice. Man. Hey, you're an attacker. Yeah, okay. Seed bomb is a good move to learn. Now we only need you to evolve. We don't got an idea for what? Synthesis is nice for a tank like this, but we already have Giga Drain and Leech Sheets. I'll think about that one. No. Oh, he knows bite. It's crazy. Did the leakage not go off? What the fuck? Ow. I'm just not getting enough experience as well. I don't have any money either. Oh, and they're fucked. This one is so fucked. I don't like going to the forest would be a good idea. No. We didn't find a single useful grass type to use in the grassy areas. What the fuck? Ugh. Ariados is actually a really awful Pokemon to run into here. I missed. And I miss. Of course I fucking miss. Leech miss. Hits again. Fucking hell, I hate this fucking game. This challenge is so fucking shit. Grass types fucking suck. If only I had better grass types with me. 4 times week 2. Accessor. Ay. This guy also knows fucking Shadow Punch? What the fuck? No. We need the Technician ability. Didn't we get a training like way too early? He's technically a special attacker, but only technically. Leaf Plate will work out for us. He does have Sword Stance. If we can get it off, that will be nice. Poison Barb. You're going to use it, most likely. Ugh, you again! Oh, I hate you so much. I just don't have answers for these Pokemon types. Like for Bug Poison, I just have no answer. Like a Rock type move, but Volume is. I don't think he can beat these guys right now. If he had Technician, I could at least attempt that, use that. Fungi, mushroom Pokemon. He needs to evolve first to be as tanky as he can be. It's all bug types. It's all fucking bug types in this fucking place. God fucking damn it! I hate this place. Well, he's paralyzed now. Might as well see if we can get some healing out of him. That was a waste of time. We're never close to reaching the max level as well. Oi, oi, oi. We don't get any money either. Oi, oi, oi. And there's a... Oh, it's a bug gym leader too. Oi, oi, oi. He knows aerial ace. Oi, 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 oi. I missed the lead sheet, of course! Holy shit! This keeps happening to me. God fucking damn it. Any special defense can rise all you want, you're gonna die next from the lead sheet. Or no, from my Shadow Sneak instead. Stupid Heracross. Shadow Ball would be nice if it was not a special attacker. No. I can see a use in this, but I'm not certain if I want to use it over lead sheet. Might have to consider it though. I don't know. Turning them into ghost types could be useful, maybe? Acrobatics might actually help me out in this fight, but I thought he's so weak, it's not gonna help me that much. What's this thing about some Pokemon just thinking about a move? I'm thinking about learning Swagger. Oh. What idea for a new relearn move? Toxic. What? Yeah. Oh man. I don't think Volume can do this. Yeah, nope. Of course, it's Citrus Berry. Can anyone even do anything right now? Shockle's not that strong. We might be able to save this. Ay, ay, ay. Let's go. Not a single shiny. Alright, maybe we can actually have Shimmy Sage do some training. At least we found the grass type. And I fucking missed the acrobatics. I fucking hate this game. Maybe we'll find some decent grass types for once. Holy shit. This move can actually be pretty nice considering all the poison types we have to deal with. I'll actually take it over Sacred Sword, to be honest. Like, Balloon technically has to move to fight him, but I don't know, man. I don't think Tropius learns that many flying type moves, right? Oh, like, yeah, no, he doesn't, but that's still a flying type. Yeah, you know, Ultra Ball, please. If he was shiny, I would probably have taken him. I don't actually know how good he is. Tropius is probably not as good, I don't think. But having a fly type in the team would actually work out sometimes. Toxic is something I do want to have. Yeah, let's get rid of this. At least I have some amount of money. This might not be too bad. Okay, maybe it is bad. Oh no, he goes for heal order, what an idiot. I haven't been in the jungle in this game for a long time now, think about it. I'd totally go for Big Break any other time, but I'm really hoping I can get the Technician out of Breloom somehow. I'm manifesting it. How much of it love electric type on my team? Actually, electric type not that useful right now. I really like it's the poison types, bug types, and fire types that I am mostly worried about. I could have switched out here. I don't know why I didn't do that. Oh. Fortunately, Strike is not that good of a Pokemon anyway. Ooh, the sunny day. Yeah, that it wouldn't be such a bad idea. Honestly, I would bet I'd have this on another Pokemon is the thing. If one Pokemon had learned Solar Beam, this could have been a cool setup. I just don't think it's worth it right now. Might have to relearn that one at some point. Ugh. Alright. There's no one that can take a fire type move. I'm gonna have to sacrifice Simi Sage. Oh, finally! He's evolving. He can become a decent tank. Sky Uppercut is actually a pretty decent move, but I don't really have. I guess I could get rid of Leech Seed, but it's not like he's gonna use it anytime soon. Maybe if I had like a Toxic Orb, I could make him somewhat useful. Oh, this is a difficult one, isn't it? Ah, you missed, idiot. Imagine missing. Oh. I flinched. Oh my fucking god. Dang it, he's faster. Losing Gorgeist is kind of painful, I'm not gonna lie. I survived that? What the fuck? But if that's his best move, then I think I should do Sword Stance instead. Now it's just a question of if I'm faster or not, and Glade's pretty fast, but I think I could be faster than him. Flame Punch is also a pretty nice move. Again, like I'm really just banking on Technician. Sucker Punch is a nice move to have. But I don't know. This would be good in double battles, but we don't have that yet. I don't even have the money to do that right now. Thank God he missed. Like Tailblaze would be more useful if I had, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna have it, so I'll just have to, I can relearn it if I want to. Sunny Day. I have a Pokemon that might actually be able to use it though. Water Absorb, yeah. It's questionable. I don't know who should have Sunny Day. If we ever want to set it up. Wait, did I learn? When did I learn Sky Uppercut? Oh, did I pick it over Lead Sheet? Let's give Maractus something to do, I guess. I don't have a bug type move, but Shifter should be fine. I should have just got him. He's actually a pretty decent Pokemon. Oh well. Executor I could actually make use of. Psychic type would have been good. Fuck, I'm dumb. Now I'm stupid. Oh. Because since Gorgas has the money making machine, I'm just gonna set him forward. Alright, Team Rocket, this sucks. What move did he just use? Ah, Heat Wave. And he burned me, of course he did. Okay, so now the normal type instead. Probably has some fire attack. And a lot of defense, I see. Okay. Amogus has regenerators, so we're gonna take advantage of that fact. Alright, the strategy is coming through thanks to fucking Amogus. The whole point of, like, I wanted a more tanky team anyway with the grass types, that's what they're good at anyway. Somewhat. I never thought Gorgash was a good Pokemon until I played this game. I wouldn't even have believed you if you told me he was a good Pokemon. I'm not ready to go for full solar team. Not yet anyway. I mean, yeah, I got just better.
Are you winning, son?
Surprisingly, yeah, so that I fucking will be very angry at Heidelin for making me suffer like this.
That's a nice event. We'll find out next time.
Find out next time, one day.
Ancient Elpis. But upon reaching the Valdesian Annex, he finds the halls empty. The Scions have already deployed to Garlemald, aiding in the desperate evacuation of Radzat Han's refugees via the Lunar Bridge. The final days, it seems, have reached even the frozen heart of the fallen Empire. Amidst the blizzards and chaos outside the capital, Heidelin will answer.
Wait, what? Hold on a minute. I think something went wrong. Did you press anything by accident?
No.
His colleagues argue for euthanization, warrior prayer.
You know, it is very interesting.
Share the
though,
truth of
the
what's to
reality
come.
is the end
Lives
falls that happened to the Asians was never the
via the Lunar
and
Bridge.
the work of like
The final
stagnation,
day.
but instead was just the sirens singing the desperation song.
It seems
Depression
have
song.
reached even the frozen heart of the fallen Empire.
They summoned the
We know
depression.
the source.
They summoned the depression monster. If only we could go to the moon and tell Nyx to like stop them.
Yeah, exactly. We just
It's
need
the
to stop
blizzards
the
and
source of
chaos
depression.
outside the capital.
Kill the
Fortuno
emos.
struggles to keep order. Panic.
Never knew I would have fought
ripple
Ennis
through
like
the
this, but here we are.
As monstrous blasphemies descend like
I'm
vultures.
sorry, your depression is contagious
Despite
and it's actually
their
killing
differences.
people.
Then why did Heidelin make a world where depression is rife and bountiful?
Apparently, it
Scions come
was
to
always
Fortuno's
going to
aid,
happen. Apparently,
becoming the last bulwark against
the Asians
collapse.
also suffering from it.
Alphino tending wounds.
Yeah, but like, so the York could have stopped it, and then I was like, no, wait, hold on, I think I have a better idea.
Rhythm, carving down the horrors with a quiet, relentless fury. Even Eulus, once a bitter enemy, now fights to defend people without concern for their allegiances. And then, through the veil of snow and death, the warrior of light at last returns. His arrival shifts the tide, the battlefield pivoting in an instant, as the onslaught of despair is beaten back, long enough for the refugees to escape. Using this
Man, if
short
I were in the
moment of
14
respite,
world, I'd probably be like one of the
Fortuno,
strongest
weary and
monsters in this
bloody,
game right
extends a
now.
hand to those present,
I'd be the
telling
final
them
boss.
that Sharlayan will offer what safety it can,
That's a nice
and that he will
self-insert.
defend them to
The
his last
Despair
breath
King.
as they prepare for their evacuation from this world. Before they can depart, however, Xenos appears, calm, detached, and disappointed. He has come to slay a new manner of beast, but deems the blasphemies unfit to temper his blade. Upon being reunited with the Warrior of Light, he wonders whether he is ready to finish their game, but finds the warrior still all too tangled up.
I just enjoy Xenos being here, like he has absolutely nothing to do with the story, he just wants to fight.
Rage barely held in check. Why? Why let it all burn? Xenos answers with brutal honesty, telling him that aside from the battles he has sought, everything else seems meaningless. What response would soothe Ulysses' pain, he wonders aloud? What justification could cleanse the blood? None. And that, Xenos claims, is what makes him different. He wears no illusions of honor or duty to mask his sins. Alizé tells him he'll die alone and empty if he keeps living for nothing but carnage. Xenos doesn't argue. He simply walks away. As he leaves, Forshino returns
Bob
and
said,
tells the Scions they are
says your
welcome
weak
on their
shit
airship,
and walks
at
away.
last fully acknowledging that their deeds are deserving of gratitude.
You are a
despite
sinner,
not
yeah,
always
and
agreeing with their methods. Once alone,
I'll see you tomorrow.
Estinian comments that Alphino will one day be after his father's seat in the Forum, the thought seemingly meeting with Forshino's approval. Back at Camp Broken Glass, the Scions take a moment to debrief. Lucia confirms what they feared.
Another
The capital has fallen into chaos. Maxima holds the line, but she needs reinforcements.
This is after skipping 5 meetings,
Now
by the
that
way.
Ulysses has returned, she intends to send him and his team back into the storm. Ulysses is shocked.
To be honest, could be
They're handing
Count, seen
galleons
as
weapons,
seen, the Warrior
but the
Flags
answer
another
is
meeting.
clear. Yesterday's sins mean little compared to tomorrow's deeds. Before they can discuss the matter further, a voice echoes from the distance, soft, dazed, and unmistakably odd. Poor Ding.
I can't believe Neptune has just fucking gone inside the body of a bunny now.
Having waited in vain on the
The
moon,
pudding
they
warrior.
decided to see
That's what
Etheris
they
for
do.
themselves.
Of course, the only way to fight despair is the meme
Forshino
girl.
was stunned to meet the Forum's mysterious collaborators.
I can't believe Neptune from Neptunia was the savior of Final Fantasy XIV.
In old
Listen,
Charlotte,
if I
the
can already
Scions are
tell you
invited to
people,
the
if
Forum,
Neptune was on,
so that they can be briefed on the
the
plan
hero's
for the
side,
great
Jess would
exodus.
immediately turn sides and
Scions
become
proceed
positive.
to
Yeah, I'll immediately become
all the
hope built.
details of their ambitious
I
undertaking.
go like, yes, my
As
goddess.
much life as they can.
You'll see me kneel.
Before its demise. Even
I
though they cannot
kneel.
take everyone.
I kneeled.
As such, they intend to prioritize their allies and those unlikely
Listen,
to spark
Ennis.
conflict.
Sorry, I need to... Like, here's the thing,
Is
Ennis.
the door?
So it's not
Go up.
the wallpaper engine is. No, listen, Ennis. Like, I know Neptune is the meme goddess that will make jokes at any point in time. Like, there's literally no one you could like have better in the. If you're fighting despair, you could have no one better, right? And I'm always winning.
Yeah, she'll ruin every serious mood and then turn it into something funny.
So I'll always join the winning side. So I'm gonna join Neptune's side because I know she win against the despair.
To do this, they've constructed an operational starship, which
She better
flies, but at the present there is a problem with the speed at which it moves.
Next
Listened to
thing
what
I
the
want is a
Forum has to
depression
say,
arc.
Alphino steps forward, makes an offer.
Isn't it the
Scion
depression
forgot
arc when she
to
realized
ship
that Peachy was the
and
enemy and
exchanged
had
things.
forgotten her? She was kind of sad
First,
about
the
it for an
audience with
episode
Heidelin.
in the anime.
Since the Forum has found a way to reach
Fair
the
enough.
ethereal sea. Second, Alphino wishes to propose a different use for the vessel, should they succeed, although he doesn't divulge the nature of his proposal at present. The majority of the Forum agrees to the Scion's terms, even though Forshino is among those who oppose his son's daring suggestion. To execute their plan, the Scions descend into the bowels of Labyrinthos, where the Ether Burner, a colossal engine fit for spaceflight, awaits. However, its creator, Kokol, curses the limits of his design. Another 0.6% might be possible, but they need 6% to reach the speed they need. Kokol says that it would be possible with elegant refined adamantite, but regrettably they cannot get enough of the material, since no one knows how to make it anymore.
We need at least 5 more meetings and 1 dungeon one in order to get it.
Alphino was already calling in favors from across the world to secure
It would
the
take us an
necessary
entire stream to
materials.
get the Animantite, by the way.
The Sultana rallies factions and guilds. Even Lolorito is given free reign, so long as the necessary materials are procured.
Where's
The Black
Sid
Shroud,
all of this? I can
Arusana
bet your
worries over
ass
not
you could
having
already
enough
produce
manpower,
some.
until Lys and the Resistance arrive.
No, he needs to have a more pivotal moment in the story later, okay? Listen. Everyone needs a moment.
Silence broken by a mighty
See, even
dragon.
Harshiphant has a scene in
Meanwhile, in the Ruby
this.
Sea, Hancock and Soroban strike
No,
a
he can't
deal.
even rest.
All of this so that Alphino's plan can come to fruition.
Oh boy, everyone is gonna have a
As the
meeting
shipments
because...
arrive, the docks overflow with crates and gifts, relics, alloys, and refined adamantite from across the globe. The Sky Pirates, the Prima Vista, the Blue Kojin, the East Aldenar Trading Company, all heeding the Scion's call.
You know,
All debts
here's the
have been
thing, that's
paid,
pretty
they're
cool,
told,
right?
by Tataru, with
Nothing
coins
to
earned
say
from her
about that, but I'm
enterprises,
wondering how
and
long
by
does it take
Emilians,
to just
who
bring
has
them all
funded
to
the rest
Charlia?
in secret. Kryle arrives with her gleaners who defy
Well, and it's the same thing as when we had a time limit in Shadowbringers, as long as the writers feel like it.
Scales infused with the power of ancient worms. Kokol stares in awe as he foresees that the output for the ship would now exceed his wildest imagination. With the work complete, Forshino pulls his children aside. Is this truly what they want? To carry the fate of every soul on their shoulders? Alphino answers simply. They've seen too much beauty to let it all fade. Forshino embraces them at last,
Yeah,
Not
he
as a
stopped
forum
listening to
member,
depression
but as
music
their
and joined
father.
our side.
He admits that he once swore to bear every burden for them, but now he sees they've grown stronger than he ever imagined. He no longer needs to shield them.
Did he ever shield
stand
him though?
beside them. To meet with Hydaelyn, the Scions are
good
led
question.
into Thaumasine, the hidden heart of
Where
Labyrinthus.
was he when they were
There,
fighting
they're brought to a
Bahamut?
great lift, one that leads not up, but down. Into
Going,
the
nah,
ethereal
I don't
sea
believe you.
itself. The Scions descend, facing shades of past enemies that have returned to the ethereal sea.
Oh boy, it's the Capcom boss wash.
Ritatin. And guided by fallen allies, Papalimo, Hoshefont, Moenbrida, and Minfilia. At the journey's end stands Amon, grinning, malicious, and full of pain. After a battle with Amon, the warrior asks him if he remembers Elpis. Something stirs. Amon confesses he saw Elpis in his dreams, long before he awakened as an Ascian. Hermes' erasure didn't cleanse his soul. It carved those memories deeper into it, so much that even in death they linger. But it wasn't the past that broke him, it was the present. The cruelty he saw in mankind. He decided, as Meteion had, that life was only suffering. Yet he still hesitates, and wonders whether there could be another answer, another way. As he hesitates, another voice mocks him.
Oh,
A
fuck
familiar
off! No,
face
get out!
emerges.
Can you not leave us alone?
No, we need more frikandel. No, this is Asahi now.
Asahi, the one who Fandaniel the Ascian had used as a puppet.
I don't
He
care.
does not care
was
that his
an
body
asshole.
was used, but he will not forgive Amon for desecrating it by using it to betray his lord, Xenos. To
He'll
exact
still
his
be a
revenge,
fangirl.
Asahi drags Amon into oblivion, their fates sealed together. With her final guardian defeated, the Scions reach the Mother Crystal and Hydaelyn herself. She warns them that Meteion waits at the end of all things, in a realm of pure dynamis. Ether is meaningless there. Emotions will shape reality. Despair will strike as a weapon. Alice admits her doubt. Once she would have stood tall, now she quakes. Hydaelyn answers not with comfort, but truth. Suffering
Yes.
cannot be
If I'm
erased.
seeing those dots correctly on the play bar, right?
Yeah.
It means that literally the DLC, the year afters
Yeah, these are the
are
6 points.
so fucking short. 6 point. Oh,
So we'd basically be doing like about 20 streams of this, and then holy shit. There's so much that has to be called out here. I cannot believe that there aren't like 5 hours of cutscene between every that's what we've experienced in the last 3 expansions. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
must be endured. To prove their strength, she demands
Because
they
like
face
if
her at
this
full
were the
might.
amount of cutscenes that
Scions
were there,
accept her
then
challenge.
we wouldn't be bothered so much.
The battle is
I don't think.
fierce, and when it ends, Hydaelyn collapses.
12
her
hours,
divine
by the way.
light spent.
12 hours of main
She
main
admits
story
her
cutscenes.
sundering was no mercy, but rather a necessity. However, now mankind has surpassed her. They no longer need gods. She gives the Scions a crystal, traced with Meteion's path, and reveals that the Mother Crystal itself holds the ether they need to reach across the sea of stars. To the Warrior of Light she offers one final gift, a blessing of stillness, of peace, drawn from the Crystal of Azam, the laws which impart stability to existence itself. Her last words echo from long ago. When the path forward is hidden, even from the mind's eye, look not to the invocation, but within yourself. Having done her part to thwart the final days, by passing her strength and wisdom onto her chosen champions, the goddess then vanishes without a trace. The Scions recount what has passed, and their many adventures. The
Another meeting.
Loperites busy themselves with preparations, anything to distract from the grief of losing Hydaelyn. In the royal gardens of Alamigo, Xenos broods in silence. He remembers Alice's words, and wonders, what did he seek, truly, in that last battle? And what did the Warrior of Light seek in return?
I mean, the Warrior of Light seeks in return whatever people tell him to seek in return.
Rush through final preparations with twitching ears and unshakable
Hey, listen, as the Warrior of Light, they only want to save the world. We're just simple adventurers, just having a simple adventure time. We're just having fun.
Some revisit cherished memories.
And it's like,
Others
oh no, you have to
embrace
save the world
loved
now,
ones
what the
beneath
fuck?
golden light of a
It
peaceful
only lasted
day,
5 episodes.
knowing it may be their last.
No, and I got that one. You got that one episode. You got that one episode in Stormblood. It's like, hey, remember when we were adventurers? Yeah, and then it went back to saving the world again.
Tribulation. From the
You can't have one simple adventure.
Sands to the revelations in the first, they recall their journey with pride, pain, and purpose. Now they prepare to reach the outermost edge of existence, Ultima Thule. Kryl urges them to claim triumph, however they choose to define it. Tataru, voice trembling, sends them off as the Scions descend into Thomasine one final time to board the vessel that will help them traverse the stars. Within the vast hangar, Sid and Foshino confirm the vessel is primed. The Loporites have completed modifications, attaching their hyperhopper to extend its reach into the unknown. This vessel is a fruit of untold collaboration, the culmination of a world's hope. Named for the fragment of Dalamud that first brought the plans to fruition, they christen it Ragnarok. Sekard arrives.
Atlas Ragnarok for playing that game in a few days.
Livingway explains that the Mother Crystal cannot be moved, but that its ether has been transmuted into a new form. Primal avatars, summoned through unity rather than religious zealotry. These purified gods, born of Heidelin's teachings, and the tribe's will fuel Ragnarok's flight without the risk of tempering. Moenbreeder's parents then present the Scions with a teleportation device, a failsafe to bring everyone back home should the worst occur. With engines ablaze and summoned gods flying in their wake, Ragnarok tears to the sky. As they pass into Ultima Thule, a realm shaped by emotion and unmoored from reality.
Remember we were like slaying them and now we're using them as fucking fuel?
Then she appears. Meteon welcomes them with a chilling calm. She says they needn't have come, as she assures them she will soon free their world from suffering. The Scions reject her mercy and vow to end her nihilistic rampage. Suddenly they are overcome by Dynamis as they collapse one by one. Only Thancred endures. He rises.
Of course Thancred endures, he's the best, he's the strongest character.
One final strike.
Must be nice being not the main
They
character.
awaken in silence. Thancred is gone. So is Meteon. But the world around them is solid, breathable, walkable. Meteon reappears to taunt them. Thancred, she claims, is everywhere. His body may be gone, but his will lingers. Thancred's last wish for them to survive was enough to reshape Ultima Thule, granting air and light. As Meteon vanishes, the Scions press onward.
So this place is also gonna have like 50 side quests, right? Somehow.
On the first, he may yet endure.
We now find
more
residents.
dragons.
Ghost dragons, they're gonna give us side
They learn
quests.
of a ruined star, devoured by a great war, its remnants succumbing to corruption. Their last hope had been to flee, but even across the stars they found only more conflict, so they chose to do nothing. Estinian confronts a dragon mired in despair. Nikazomra found a new home, Estinian says, but yes, there was conflict. The dragon deems inaction the wiser path. Estinian, however, disagrees, saying that peace comes not from retreat, but from understanding your enemy. The dragon bursts into Dynamis, engulfing the dragoon. Estinian turns to his comrades, offers a final nod, and vanishes. As a result, a gust of wind dispels the miasma, and the path forward opens.
So every cutscene is one of the party members disappearing, right? That's just how it's gonna go, right?
They meet the Ea, disembodied minds striving to regain
I think
physical
here
form
we can see
so they
obviously
die
Yustola
properly.
being added to the wall.
Once they sought
eaten by the
enlightenment
wolves.
through ascension, but in their search for knowledge, they discovered the universe's end, a slow, freezing death in eternal silence. Despair became their truth. As a scholar, Y'shtola refuses their conclusion. Knowledge does not demand despair, it offers the chance to understand. When the Ea attack, she stands her ground, and Urianger joins her, declaring He is never stronger than when supporting a friend. Together they walk into the storm. A pillar of light erupts and Meteion appears. She is impressed. 2 dead civilizations have stirred due to their influence. Alizé steps forward, declaring that they will not stop until they find her. Meteion gestures to the sky, to the dead sun above. Her nest. Souls gathered there do not return to the star. There is no rebirth, only stillness. She warns them they must hurry, or their fallen friend's protection will fade. The 4 remaining scions travel to a floating island of steel and silence. Here dwell the Omicrons, machines of relentless evolution. Their leader, Sir, awaits a report that will never come. G'raha locates an isolated unit, pondering a tree that still grows for no reason at all. He confronts it with a question. What is the purpose of endless strength? When all is conquered, what remains? The machine cannot answer. G'raha offers a story, his story, of a man who dreamed through despair and chose to keep going. As the machines succumb to Dynamis, G'raha vanishes, leaving nary a trace of himself. Now only the warrior and the twins remain. They find a hollow world, a place already emptied of life before Meteion arrived. Alphinaud proposes a path forward, a chance to finish this, and a chance to live. The twins turn to Meteion and tell her, this world is not empty. She is here. They remind her fear, failure, despair, none of it is the end. Not unless you let it be. Meteion lashes out and the twins are consumed by Dynamis, allowing the Warrior of Light to keep moving forward.
So like basically every time they find a Doomer, the Doomer's like, man, everything sucks. And then they go like, no, I think you can make it not suck, or maybe it's fine if it sucks. And they go like, yeah, fuck you, and then they all both disappear. That's basically what happens in every cutscene.
I would like to go more in the end sense of and then they die.
And then they both die.
Devoid of hope. Meteion, overcome by this revelation, falls to her knees, and hope takes root. As a result, the scions are restored. But the nest shudders. Dark Dynamis pours forth. The Song of Oblivion is not yet over. Before disappearing, Emet-Selch asks the warrior whether he has been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty, whether he has visited the treasure islands beyond the frozen waters of the Blind Frost. He asks whether he has seen the fabled gold cities of the New World, or the sacred sites of the forgotten people of the South Sea Isles. What does he know of Merocidia, the southern continent, of the true nature of the 12? The message is clear. The warrior must save the world, for there is still so much to experience.
There are so many expansions we have to bring out.
This is an advertisement to Donald Trump. What a mistake.
The warrior leads the charge. Meteion pulls the scions through memories of lost worlds, yet they still stand. Meteion screams. She fuses with her sisters, becoming the End Singer. The scions fight her, but to no avail. Worlds crash, time twists, sorrow repeats. At the brink, the warrior sacrifices his chance of return by teleporting his comrades away to keep them safe. Alone, he faces the End Singer.
Alone and his eight fancy summoned out of nowhere.
The skies break, and Xenos descends as Shinryu reborn.
Oh, and Xenos, I guess.
Foe, but as a partner in this final dance. He has made the journey by gorging himself on the Mother Crystal and reclaiming the form of a dragon. Together they battle despair itself, and as the End Singer ultimately falls, the Sea of Dynamis grows quiet. Meteion, having returned to her original size, asks the warrior if they can be friends. He takes her hand in his. She sees them. There was never one answer. Each life walks its own path. The universe is a garden of blooms, not a singular design. Her feathers turn blue once more, and she returns to her former cheery self. She offers to guide the warrior back, but one last matter remains, as Xenos demands his due.
Epic one-on-one
He asks for no titles, no talk of heroes or villains, no justification, just a duel, adventurer to adventurer. They fight not as enemies, but as two who have sought purpose in the clash.
I think he's done way too much to not be just a fellow adventurer.
Was life a gift or a burden? He asks. Did you find fulfillment?
After playing 14, I've decided that it was a burden.
Before darkness
Never.
takes the
Never
warrior
mind.
as
The
well,
Melties have
a
were correct.
teleportation
We were
beacon
mistaken
falls
for
from the
helping
sky.
them.
Never
It
throw me into the
activates,
MSQ
the
again.
Warrior of Light returns to the Ragnarok. There he is greeted by cheers and tears. He is home. The final days have ended, and the people of Aetheris are once again safe, the torch having been passed to them from the ancients. Sometime later, Alphino pens a letter. The Scions formally disband. Their work is done for now. Each goes their own way. To rebuild, to study, to wander. Kataru remains, turning the Rising Stones into a workshop and a refuge. When they ask what comes next, the Warrior of Light looks to the sky, where a blue bird glides across the new dawn, a smile on his face.
As Estinian gets his vacation, finally.
Finally, only Estinian though, no one else.
Patch 6.1.
So, should we just pause here for now and just talk about the main story? Give your thoughts.
I don't know anything else. I honestly, I'm starting to get the feeling of emptiness as we finally see the end of this giant adventure that we went through, even if it was a short 2-hour summary. Thank God.
Kind of felt the same, yeah. And it's like, I felt there's a sadness about it to me as well, because there's a part of me that's like, despite having some like things I want to, like, I just kind of think, like, kind of don't know if I really like of the story. There are plenty of things I find interesting enough. It's just a shame that in order to experience this story, I have to experience so many more hours of cutscenes that I don't think really help that much. And never mind the game. Like, aside from a dungeon here and there, like, most of the gameplay in between would also be pretty boring to us, right? And that's kind of what's so sad, because it's like, I don't just hate 14. I like 14, and because I liked 14, I also hate it.
Yeah, then often the most important thing to remember, people: hate comes from love.
Yep.
Indifference is the true type of what do you call it?
It is apathy. That's the opposite of love and hate.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole thing that the Maltese would actually encourage you at this point. Just give up.
Just give up.
But yeah, it's you know, the whole main story is from the summary. It doesn't feel as bad, at the very least, to some extent. I feel kind of miffed on the end of how Xenos plays. He really is kind of just there.
I feel like Xenos I think the story tries to be after Team of Despair and like try to weave Xenos into that sense of like despair. But Xenos, for the most part, as a character, is so like vain. He's so empty. He doesn't act. The only thing he wants is a fight. And then I don't know. It just seems kind of there. It didn't really seem like he really needed to be in the game, in the story.
Yeah, he could have worked as a rifle if you could have focused a bit more on that end, but you couldn't do that either. Like the aspect of making him your rifle was also kind of weak, half-assed, and just there.
Yeah, Xenos is the weakest part of this story for certain. I think for the most part the theme is like good depending on how you the player will feel about it. Like for me, for example, it doesn't really sync well with me because I'm a doomer, right? I'd be the cause for the world would be destroyed. And it's on the other hand,
you would be the strongest warrior.
I would be the strongest warrior. It's funny because I'm not really a nihilist either, but it's just holy shit. I think the thing with like nihilism, right? It's not even just a feeling of like nothing matters. Is that you even go with the idea of like you don't care about anything. But it's like I never cannot just not care about things, and it's kind of what makes it difficult for me, I guess. Basically, I have a doomer spiral where everyone else is a doomer cycle. I'll be the king of despair.
That's why all he needs is his queen.
I think it's also like such stories like have strength in them because the idea is that but you can surpass despair by your strength, but then you always have to leave the question of like, okay, Heidelin, but what about all the people that just kind of fucking died, including the newborn? Like you just said, fuck them, I guess. I think it's also different when you have a story you have a story where you also have like magic, superpowers, and all of that stuff. If you were to conflate it with real life, you don't have that shit. So if you like were born in a unfavorable position where you literally can't do anything to save yourself, like what can you really like do then determine that life is suffering?
What else can you do other than to scream at God and ask why you've been born?
Well, like, if you have let me put it like this: if you were born at a point where you can't even get strength, no matter what you do, then would you not just howl at the heavens about your existence?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's difficult to say. There's a lot to it.
It's something where I don't really have much to argue about more than I find the story and the what do you call it, the struggle of itself to be somewhat of an interesting thing to look into.
Like that's
Anything else?
because that's a separate point, right? Like my point is more so just personal, subjective feeling, where someone else's subjective feeling would be that it's great because for them it like works a lot more, you know. And that's to each their own. I think that is more so world feel dependent than whether the story is good or not. Because when we talk about whether the story is good, we should talk about more of like how does it use those themes. And you know, when I see that like at the end point, you see all these civilizations like despairing because the answer they found was not what they liked, and different like you see like different senses of despair and stuff. I think that's an interesting idea. I think that's an interesting way to like hone in on the despair. I also think that the final message is also more so like, you know, it's not just one system. The universe is made of like all bunch of multiple things that, you know, a lot of things just don't just really happen by design. Like it just so happens that this is the case, and it just so happens that maybe your life is not just sucks, but it's not like it's not on purpose. Like you're not born just because some god said, you know what, fuck this guy in particular.
Well, here's also another thing that I always think of is, besides how these guys discovered their answer to what life ends up entailing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also have to say it's like you may suffer, but there's also always and this is probably the most difficult one, is how long can you wait until actually something good comes out of the suffering, right? Is one thing that I always think of. It's like how much can that when the genuine good thing that comes to you, right, for the rest of your life, how much is that going to affect you? How is it going to change? Is also a question.
I'm thinking about it too, but like, you know, the whole point of the ancient civilization is that you sacrifice yourself to return to the start to create a perfect society, right? To avoid the suffering. And it's like, it's kind of an empty promise because you don't actually know if it's ever going to happen and you're never going to see it in your own lifetime. But then I think about it with like Heidelin's vision in a sense, like, it's somewhat similar to. It's like, well, you have a world of suffering, but eventually the strong warriors that come from it will save the world. But like, obviously in this story, that's, you know, it's a story made by us humans, and we want them to succeed. So like, to us, it's practically guaranteed. But in a sense, that story would also never be a guaranteed thing. You're still sacrificing people for something that's unguaranteed as well. It's just a different like method and different goal in the end.
It is. It's one of those things that have been often said, is that sometimes the future is kind of built by men that plant the trees of which they will never see never be bathed in their shadow.
But that's also kind of where I ask, like, how much should people really sacrifice for something that is not guaranteed? Because right now, even today, right, what are we doing? We are sacrificing ourselves to stop climate change, for example. If we just do this a little bit less, we'll have a perfect world, and then it never happens. Don't you just look stupid at that point? I think you need to question first if the sacrifices. You first have to ask if the sacrifices are even worth it to begin with.
When it comes to the example of climate change alone, it's once again maybe a clash of ideology and ideas in that case.
Yeah.
And at this point, you would say, those people would simply tell you that you're not believing hard enough in the end of the world if you're not doing these right things, right? Whereas others, like I am one of those examples, think that maybe our life on Earth is in that sense a cyclical one, right? Like how, we live, we give birth, the new generation comes, well, the old dies, and this keeps repeating, right? As a simplified form. The Earth once was also a frigid hell space, but before that, it was also a warm place. Very hot. Hot enough for dinosaurs to exist. Those giant birds that you see.
Sahara Desert used to be a forest, and it's going to be a forest later as well.
Exactly, and once again, it's like when it was like a frigid hellscape, right? Completely frozen. Eventually, it became a warm place, livable, just perfect for this world to exist.
Theoretically speaking, even time and the dimensions themselves are the same. Like, the universe ends, but with that ending, the time ends as well. So therefore, time begins anew with the next dimension, and then we also are essentially in an endless time loop.
Yeah,
You might have already lived this life like fucking millions of times. You just don't realize it.
Maybe you don't. That's the soul.
Yeah. Maybe that's your sense of deja vu. It's like you having the feeling of like, hey, this happened at a different timeline before.
Yes.
Casey. Yeah, I think that though again, it's a sad thing, right? Like, I think the story is interesting enough, despite like Xenos, right? Like, and
Being the weakest point.
Frikandel's such a. I think Frikandel's way too over the top of a character to be taken seriously. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah, and his fanboy face was also not that much fun.
No.
Fanboys. Oh, I genuinely dislike because they did nothing with him in a sense.
No. Or to kind of shoehorn him in by the end. No, Asahi is not really a character I enjoy. But that's the thing. Like, the first two main villains were the weakest part of the story, but everything else was interesting. From what I've seen in this video as well, like, I like the character designs of the monsters too. Like, they look very terrifying, as they should.
The world building in this sense is kind of has been great with Shadowbringers too. So that's
the thing. Shadowbringers' story is good. It's just that there's so much around it that's not as interesting or just filler. I would say, it's, for the lack of a better term, like, it's just so much fluff that gets very exhausting, especially for like a game that you want to play with your friends. Because the thing is, like, when I see this video, I think, oh, I might actually want to play the game, but then I have to realize, there's 12 hours of cutscenes. Like, this guy basically told us the story of 12 hours within 1 hour and 36 minutes.
No. I remember, this is the end. We are at the end. We're now at the next patch. We are now at like 15 hours. 15 and a half hours of cutscenes.
This would take us, like... And, like, for us, this would take us, like, about... Like, what? Like, I guess because I'm skimming through things, it would be less than 20 streams, but it'd still be, like, about 15 streams of something that we will enjoy for a little bit, and then for the most part get really zoned out. Which is sad, because there is a lot of good... That's the whole thing. We don't hate 14 because we're haters. There's a lot of good things in 14. There's things we do love about 14. But the main story quest, most of the gameplay is not as interesting until you get to a dungeon, and a lot of the cutscenes can be very long-winded and tiring. So doing that for such a long time can be pretty dull. The problem is, in general, is that with every expansion, they kind of like follow a formula. So it also sometimes feels like they just have to add something or have to not add something just to make sure the formula just works just fine. It's just unfortunate to see a game that has so much potential just kind of gets, And even if we do like the extra content that we do enjoy, we can't even do that anymore because there's less players now playing the game. No one wants to actually play like the game. They use it as a chat room, so we can't even do like extremes or like ultimates or savages or whatever because no one wants to do those. Yeah.
The servers that I've been at seems dead at very least.
Well, the server also got hacked apparently at some point. They restored it, but like they had an issue.
Maybe I got out of it. I probably got out of it because I don't see it anymore. Oh well.
Yeah, and it's just a shame in general. And I think like part of the big reason is also like Dawntrail was such a disaster of an expansion. In every way. Like, the story was just not very good. One character really ruined the mood all the time. Most of the characters, besides Astinia, didn't really get the whole vacation thing, even though that was the whole point. Like, it was fine for the story to just be a simple, like, startup story, maybe a breath of... just a breath of...
Breath of fresh air?
A breath of fresh air, just like, like relaxing, just doing more fun adventures and stuff, but instead you're just doing a bunch of odd jobs for a bunch of people you don't even like. And then besides that, there's just constant content about with because of how bad the story is as well. People start to also notice like also how the game like kind of fails in the certain aspects. Right, it's like also very disillusioning as well for a lot of people. But the problem with Dawntrail as well is that even after like the post patches, they took forever to come out. And even if those patches themselves were a little bit longer, it still is the fact that a lot of people to spend time absolutely not doing anything. So that also just had a lot of players just drop out. Even if I've heard that the last patch had a really good dungeon, even then I just don't think it's gonna save what is right now. Right now they have a new expansion And it's only questionable if they learn from their lessons. And I don't know. I know that Yoshi P knows that something has to change because everyone can see the numbers. But if they actually will succeed, that's a different story.
They ended up noticing just a bit too late.
Yeah, I think Dante really was at a point in time where they had to change everything because you can't. Endwalker is already the end of the story essentially, and everything afterwards, it's just a question what the fuck can you even do story wise? At that point, you really should have just focused more on making the gameplay fun. Because again, story wise, what are you even going to do? We saw the end trailers have you seen all these other parts of the world? Yeah, but you see there's things for you to do. It's okay, but story-wise, what does it matter?
What will you bring?
It's if the end point is just kind of oh, well, we're just having adventure for fun, that would be fine. But to make the adventure fun. If the adventure isn't even fun, then it's boring in multiple ways. And that's basically what happened in Dawntrail, I think.
Anyway, how about we go into the expansions that lead up to Dawntrail?
Sure.
Newfound adventure. With the end of the world behind him, the Warrior of Light is free to go on his own adventures. After some time, the warrior pays a visit to Tataru. Over tea and laughter, they talk of simpler times, of quests without cataclysm, and quiet roads not
we're just adventurers for fun.
Tataru, ever the instigator of destiny, suggests some old-fashioned adventuring. Her tip leads the warrior to Razad-Han, and to a tavern where a drunken professor slurs secrets regarding a treasure map, rumored to lead to Azjadal's legacy, a hidden trove of otherworldly riches at the bottom of the bounty, just as Emmett Selk had foretold. At the market, the warrior spots a shady merchant staging a clumsy performance with a boy to sell the map. But before they can act, Estinian strides forward and purchases it.
Estinian now to finish his character arc is what, I'm just gonna do fun things too.
Fund for the people of Razad-Han.
That's why he gets a vacation in the next story expansion.
And one that earns him the warrior's partnership. After securing a ship, however, they realize they are in need of more allies. Braha joins with glee. Urianger arrives bearing blueprints for Loperate vaults, and Ishtola is intrigued by whispers of otherworldly plunder. Together they sail to the Marked Isle and unlock enchanted passageways that lead to the ocean floor. Beneath the waves lies treasure beyond imagination. But more intriguing is a sealed alchemical chamber. As they attempt to open it, Varshahan intervenes, declaring that it can only be unsealed on his authority. Within lies not gold, but a faint, active planar gate, leading to the 13th, more commonly known as the Void. Ishtola is immediately fascinated by this.
So we're gonna find X-Death there, or what?
Varshahan explains. Ages ago, during the war between the Alagans and Merocidia, Bahamut fell, and the Merocidians summoned the Warring Triad. Emperor Zande responded by forging a pact with the Cloud of Darkness. The battle seemed eternal until Vertra's sister, Asdaya, dove into the Void Gate to seal it, never to return. Vertra, torn between duty and devotion, hid this smaller gate beneath the sea and sealed it to prevent calamity. Far away in the desolate 13th,
holy shit, it's
knight in
Golbez.
black armor sits upon a throne, speaking to four unseen elemental.
No, X-Death is not. He doesn't have black armor.
You're right, it's Golbez because of the
Cloud
Four
of Darkness. The knight warns them, be patient. Their war for redemption is just beginning.
Can you wait a bit? My brother's about to fight me later.
Stola asked to study the gate, while Estinian and the warrior assist Varshahan in deciding how best to use the treasure. After meeting with locals, it's agreed. Funds will revitalize trade, with a portion reserved to build an orphanage for those left parentless in the wake of the final days. Meanwhile, Ishtola investigates planar mechanics. Unlike soul travel through the rift, gates like this allow full passage, if widened. Old records mentioned an artificial void scent used to expand such gates, but the method is lost. Ishtola nevertheless smiles as she knows exactly where to find what they are looking for. In Sharlayan, she and the warrior gain special access to the Numenon archives, a massive collection of scrolls and tomes said to be the largest of its kind. There they find the text Ishtola was hoping for, a guide to crafting an artificial Atomos, using a crystal to replicate the resonance needed to widen the gate. Returning to Thamnia, they enlist Nitana's help and test the void gate's danger. To do so, Y'shtola summons 2 Nixies.
She fucking winked at me. She fucking winked at me.
From her past. She then equips one of them with a warding scale and sends
She
them
stole my
into the
heart
void.
again.
As they make their way back, only the protected one returns unscathed. The test confirms it. They'll need enhanced protection. Y'shtola sets off to the Garland Ironworks.
The things
hoping
become
to
monsters because they're suffering and they
Meanwhile,
despair.
the people at the Great Work in Thamnia begin constructing the
No,
artificial
depression song is
Apollos.
over, so they'll
In
just be
Razad-Han,
in pain.
Vashan wrestles with duty and desire. The citizens gather and urge him to go so that he might save his sister, Astaya. They will manage without him. Vashan finally agrees. His dragon form will however remain behind, even as his heart and mind cross the void. Elsewhere in the shifting shadows of the 13th, a familiar silhouette emerges. The void-sent avatar once bound to Xenos, now free at last to return home. Patch 6.2. Buried Memory.
Oh, right.
As the
Yeah, that's gonna be funny. You know, this is one of the reasons I'm happy that we don't actually have to wait for every single patch as well. It's so that happened to us at some point too in one of the expansions too, where we actually had to stop with one story because we had to go to another story because of the different patches, which was really weird. Do you remember that?
Something like that, yeah.
I think it was it the Neo Automata one where we had to like stop with that one so we could have to do something else. Or was it the desert? It was a desert. No, it was a desert. It was a desert in Stormblood.
It was back in back in Stormblood when we were doing when we were fighting all the Ultima weapons from Final Fantasy XIV. But we were just going way too fast when we should have actually finished the Stormblood post story.
Man.
Post patches, yeah.
The warding scales are reinforced. The Warrior of Light
It
reunites with his
was
companions
1.5
at the
hours
Great
of
Work.
cutscenes.
Vashan with a new vessel.
At least it's only 1 hour and a half, I guess.
This next patch is 3.5 hours.
Nah, that's too much. How long is
it?
it?
The sea of stars.
It's also like 10 minutes. It's not even 10 minutes, Ennis.
Merging within a warped fortress ruled by a void scent named Beatrice. They pursue her through its shadowy halls until another, far stronger void scent strikes, devouring Beatrice's ether. He introduces himself as Scarmiglione, the archfiend of Earth.
Oh yeah, this is Final Fantasy IV.
Serving a figure
You were
known
right.
only as
When you said
Lord
it was
Golbez. The Warrior of Light defeats him, but Scarmiglione's ether lingers in the air. In the dungeon below,
You know, I was about to say that's like, have you not played Final Fantasy IV? But then I remember that, like, I also just remember him so well because of this is the, where he has a full character ball and everything.
The Crystal of Light pulses, purging
I want to play this
corruption
actually.
and
I should play that
revealing
soon
a
at some
robed
point.
woman. Though still void-sent, she appears human. When asked her name, she merely calls herself Void-sent. Y'shtola, inspired, gives her a new name, Zero, not to denote
How
nothing,
original.
but rather the beginning of something new. In exchange for ether, Zero tells them of the world before the Flood of Darkness, a land consumed by war known as the Contra Memoria. She was born into it, transformed into a void-sent before birth, and cursed to live unchanged. She leads the group to the throne room, where Scarmiglione re-emerges, regenerated. In the 13th, nothing truly dies, not while darkness reigns. Zero refuses to help, until she is reminded that she never paid for the name she received. Reluctantly, she joins the battle, and reveals her unique power, to crystallize and seal away void-sent ether, the ancient magic known as Memoria. She uses it to trap Scarmiglione.
Ah yes, the anti-void set power I've used since the Heian area.
The echo
Heian
grants them
era.
a glimpse of Scarmiglione's past. He was one of 4 creatures, elevated by Golbez, empowered with
No, it
stolen
kinda
ether
is
drawn from
Similar to
Asdaya.
4, where
They retreat
Scarmiglione
to Zero
would
Sanctuary,
need to be
a
defeated
domain
twice.
for weak, void
True.
The
seeking
first time he would be
refuge
alive,
from
the second
Golbez's
time would be
purge.
undead.
Which was a really cool
Archfiends
fucking thing
scour
that they
the
did in
realm,
that game.
absorbing or destroying all in their path. Zero explains that consumed void-sent become a part of the Devourer's being.
What if I told you that's basically the story in Arc 8 in 3.0?
Form. Elsewhere, Golbez learns of
I already told you it's basically everybody zombie now. Everybody
the
zombie.
Archfiend of Wind, offers to hunt down the outsider in exchange for more of Astajar's ether. Golbez consents.
There's gonna be like 3
Mauritius
seasons of
finally
Arc 7 and 8 in
appears outside
ReZero.
Zero's refuge as she descends,
Awesome.
feeding on the weak. Sensing Virtuous essence within Varshan, she remarks that keeping Azuja
You know, if there's one thing I've realized reading the fights of ReZero, is that they're more anime than the actual anime.
demands to know his sister's location, and Barbarisha promises answers if they manage to defeat her in her own domain. Determined, Varshan offers his ether to Zero in exchange for her help, and she accepts his payment. The party soars to the floating ruin. Zero seals Void Scent along the way, while the others hold the line, allowing the Warrior of Light to confront the Archfiend. Zero urges them to seal Barbarisha quickly and ask questions later. Heeding her advice, Barbarisha is defeated and sealed, but the Echo remains silent. Worse, Zero collapses, nearly drained of all her ether. They then return to the source to let her recover. Zero is given a room in Razat-Han, and Ishtola explains she will regain strength simply by breathing in the ether-rich air, though food might speed the process. When Zero awakens, she tries having a meal. It is strange, yet pleasurable.
We should probably have like 10 meetings about this, by the way.
To do so meant devouring another, merging with them, something she always refused to do. As her strength returns, Varshan invites her and the warrior on a tour of the city.
Oh, they're having another meeting. Good.
There they encounter children playing, who explain what a
This
friend
is how we
truly
make sure it's
means.
3.5 hours of cutscene.
Zero is struck by the simplicity of the concept, as it is very different from what she had learned from her time with Xenos. Later, Zero shares more information about Contra Memoria. In ages past, the Asians had introduced Eidolons, dark reflections of primals. In time, heroes arose to stop them, wielding the Memoria. But that power corrupted many, turning them into monsters themselves. War spread. While Zero and her mother resisted, they couldn't stop the inevitable. The flood of darkness came, and Zero only survived by falling into the rift. Ishtola believes the 13th might be restored, like the first, but Zero is seemingly uninterested in the prospect. As things stand, she has only one purpose: to find Asdaya. Meanwhile, Golbez gathers his remaining generals.
So, we know Golbez was only mostly playing the villain, and actually wasn't the real true villain by the end of it. I wonder what his goals are in this game, though.
Even if all fails, the gate is open. Nothing will stop him now.
It's gonna be funny if it ends up being one like how it went in 4. He finds another guy equally strong. They'll be like, oh, awesome, let's go and kick the real boss. And then they start using train meteors to kill him.
Laughter. So unlike the brutal survivalism of the Void. She walks beside the Warrior of Light, admitting her surprise that not everyone here is like Xenos. For that, she is quietly relieved. As they prepare another expedition into the 13th, Vertra's roar echoes through the skies above Razat-Han. He felt a flicker of Asdaya's essence, a presence, however faint, calling from the frozen north. The party sets course for Garlemald.
For some reason, we have to go to Garlemald and have a meeting there.
They reunite with Alphino and Alizé. Garlemald still lacks leadership, its people scraping by under Ulysses' guidance.
We went to 6.3 when?
I don't remember, but we did.
By the way, that's 1 hour and 20 minutes. 15 minutes size of cutscenes.
But the path of the peaks is treacherous, and every Magitech snowcraft is out of commission. The warrior, Alizé, and Zero head to Tapper's Den in search of an engineer. Along the way, Zero asks Alizé why she helps the Gallians with no promise of reward.
If I know 14 is likely also another side quest that he might be skipping.
Because she wants to. And that sometimes
it also has like hours of cutscenes.
You might just be skipping like the whole side plot, which chances are like similar to
repel Void Scent.
The Void or
Warrior of Light joins Alizé to protect nearby villages, where she expresses hope that Garlemald can once again stand
like 13 or 12
Zero
raids.
aids Alphino with food distribution. There's a strange familiarity in the act. Ulysses approaches, offering her a fiery dumpling from the Azim steppe. They talk of friends and meaning, and Zero's uncertain understanding of either.
The fuck
are
friends?
The conversation is cut short by reports of a massive Void Scent incursion from the mountains. Ulysses prepares to respond, but Zero stops him. "Let me go," she says, torn between instinct and something deeper. In the howling winds, Zero stands alone against the Void Scent and loses. As she lies in the snow, memories rise. a younger self, defeated by corrupt Memoriates. They had mocked her solitude, cursed her for having no one. But now in the present, voices call her back. The twins and the Warrior of Light arrive, saving her from the edge. At Tertium, Eulus offers heartfelt thanks. As Zero collapses,
If I had a coin for every time they added like a mysterious female character in these post-game stories, I'd probably have 4 at this point.
Snowcraft carries the party to the heart of the storm. There they confront Cagnazzo, the archfiend of water, who reveals that he used Adagia's eye to lure them.
Is he gonna go into a shell too?
Golbez knows where she truly is.
You're gonna go into a shell and if he's from dark, like a
Archfiend
stupid black
falls.
mage, you die.
As his essence fades, however, he smiles, knowing he has.
It is such a shame that the Final Fantasy XIV streams were such low quality.
For the next journey to the 13th.
If they were even like
Distant
able at all.
shatters the calm.
Like the
Stola
screen,
and
if the screen even
rush
moved.
toward it. Marchand tends to his
I really did
people.
like the Final Fantasy
The
IV DS
Warrior and
streams.
Zero pursue a fleeing monster spotted in the blast's wake. A message crackles through the link pearl. The vault and the void.
Oh, we're gonna have another
Cagnazzo's
fiend fight
final
already.
battle.
Oh, that's way too soon, game. You need at least 10 more meetings before.
Following the trail, the warrior finds the culprit.
Don't worry. This guy's
Rubicante,
just gonna help
the
you,
archfiend
heal
of
you, and then
fire,
fuck off, and then
admiring
fight
the
you
world
again
he had
later.
long forgotten.
Alright.
He speaks of noble causes, of Golbez's dream for his ruined star, and the warrior's quest to save Asdaya. He proposes a duel on the top of Mount Ordeals, a clash of ideals. At the summit, they battle and the warrior prevails. Rubicante weakened.
No, unless they actually, unless they skipped all the meetings, we actually did get the fight.
So the 13th might
Can you
rejoin
double
the
check
cycle of life
which
and
game
death.
you're on? We're still at 3? We're still at 3. We're almost done with 3 though.
At Zero,
See, that's why there was only 1 hour and 20-minute cutscenes, because they actually had us fight 2 fiends.
Having witnessed life in the source, she's learned
Based.
that not all things must be exchanged. Sacrificing one world to save another isn't balance, it's cruelty. Rubicante, thoughtful even in defeat, acknowledges her growth. Perhaps we are monsters, he says, but even monsters can have honor. As a final gift, he reveals Golbez's location, the moon of the 13th, a prison once akin to Zodiac's. With her foe's ambitions laid bare, Stola vows to find a way to the moon. Zero too is committed. Something stirs within her, a fire she doesn't yet understand. One that drives her to risk everything. On the moon, Golbez watches from his shadowed throne, resolute. Asdaya caged above his head. His archfiends may have fallen, but the gate is open. His crusade is far from over. Patch 6.4. The Dark.
Look at all the sweat on his body.
Stola and Urianger return to
yeah.
Achat Han, bearing the blueprint of a bold
They're
new
just
plan.
reusing the other
The
guy's
Forge of
push-ups for
Voidgate,
this one.
vast enough for Virtuous true worm
No,
form
they would never
to pass
reuse
through,
animations. Square Enix
linking
is
the
a
moon of
very...
the source
is
to
a-
the twisted
Okay,
skies
listen,
of
NF,
the
you can't blame
13th.
Square Enix, it's a small
The
indie
key
company,
lies in
shut up.
reactivating the Tower of Babel to channel immense
And by the way,
stores of
6.4 is
ether,
2 hours
which
and
must
40
be
minutes.
harvested from the Isle of Ham,
Uh,
once intended to fuel the Ragnarok, before Hydaelyn gifted the Mother Crystal instead. But with the Scions no longer active, someone else must petition the
this entire
throne.
video would take us 20 streams,
Prime,
by the way, just so you
now
know.
aligned with the students of Baldesian, offers her help just as she's finishing a conversation with Arenville, who cryptically hints at a journey of his own. Meanwhile, the Warrior
going
of
to
Light and their
Dawntrail.
allies descend into Labyrinthos to secure
evil.
cooperation from the original Ragnarok engineers and ensure
I'm going to
safety
leave a
and
trail at dawn. Call it a
with
dawn
forum
trail.
approval and the vessel secured,
Title
Drew
drops.
prepares to journey to the Ether Front. Thancred joins the mission and finds himself drawn into conversation with Zero, who still wrestles with the idea of giving aid without compensation. Thancred, as always,
Actually, I'm thinking
offers
about this
simple
now, but
wisdom.
like,
His
the
motivation
whole
is faith
thing
in
about
those he
the
trusts.
previous story
Zero
arc was
admits
about
that
how
such
the
trust has
despair
no place in the void.
was formed
Not
into
since the
energy
age of the
that
Contra
was the
Memoriam.
emotional energy that
But
overtook
Thancred tells
Aether.
her that sticking close to the
But
Warrior
like,
of
wouldn't Hope
Light
also
is
be
the
able
best
to do
way
the same
learn.
thing? Like, was the problem not
Before
the emotion
departing,
itself? Like, if we have a
Thancred
strong
pulls
emotion,
Oriange
Hope will that
aside.
also eventually
They
take over
received
the
a
Aether?
curious summons. A
Yes.
request to employ Archons such as
It's a good thing we didn't
themselves.
accidentally destroy the world, I guess.
Garlemald, the path to
Well, no.
reactivating the Tower of Babel,
Wouldn't Hope
is
just
fraught
simply
with
heal the world
difficulties.
instead?
The Gallians are
Would it
wary
do
of
that
foreigners
instead?
meddling with what was once the seat of their power.
What if the Hope would instead like make everyone too hopeful, and then Hydaelyn is like, no, wait, that makes you weak, so don't do that.
Balks at their proposal. Zero
You need to suffer,
observes
goddammit.
The root issue is imbalance.
It makes you too
Gallians are
hopeful, and
dependent,
instead you just
while the
create one
Ilsabar
mega god that
contingent
solves everything.
remains
and
independent.
suddenly there's no
The
problem
lack
anymore.
of mutual need
Oh, that's
sows
bad.
resentment.
You're going to play
Inspired by his
Pokemon with a
observation,
grass-only team, and you're going to
Marjan
enjoy
proposes a
it.
solution. Rekindle trade between Razatan
When
and
Heidel probably
Garlemald.
says you did it to yourself, but I don't know
Favnir
what
would
to say.
provide resources.
Listen,
Garlemald
Ennis,
would
listen,
supply
Ennis,
magic
listen,
tech.
Ennis. The shiny
Those who
Pokemon are all
profit
grass
on the
types.
floor
What can I do about it?
Mutual benefit could rebuild Garlemald and stabilize
How much
Favinir's
did
struggling
it help
economy.
you?
Two interim wars
Sometimes a
heal
lot,
the
and sometimes not at all.
One sees its promise, while the other brands it treason and storms out. Eulus, along with the warrior and Zero, follows suit. When a rogue Machina threatens the Lord's life, Eulus leaps into action and saves him. He pleads for understanding. Garlemald cannot cling to the past. Change is the only path forward. The Lord relents.
Garlemald's whole goal was also to reunite all the worlds, but it's also
Zero,
impossible, I think, at
curious,
this
how
point,
Eulus
with both
earned his
gods being
trust.
kinda gone.
The answer's plainly.
As far as I understand it,
Trust
anyway.
begins when someone places theirs.
Would they
in
be able
you.
to rejoin the world at this point?
Words stir old memories. She recalls two figures from her
Oh,
past.
Garlemald at this
A
moment.
knight and a mage, who offered
If they
kindness
could-
with no demand.
I think it's
When they
really
asked
is
her to
down to
join
if
them.
they could build
She had turned
themselves
them
back
away,
and become
too suspicious
a
to believe in
stable
their
nation, right?
altruism.
The very nation that
Now
can
she
build
regrets
itself
it.
back up.
Well, even then, like, you don't have the
Eulus offers her
Asians to
simple
destroy all these worlds to, like,
As long
get
as
all
she
the...
lives, she has
Get
the
everyone
power
back to the
change.
original world.
Zero grips his hand.
Oh, that
A
baby.
gesture of trust.
Yeah.
She is now
No,
beginning to
I
understand.
think it's based. The world is now forever split.
With diplomacy on their side, the Tower of Babel is reactivated.
Wait.
On the moon,
She's-
Istola lays out the
Yeah,
final
I'm actually
steps.
after wonder why
Using the
she
ancient
split the
brands
world
surrounding
into 14
Zodiac's
pieces,
former
right?
prison,
Yeah.
they anchor a
Well, would it
void
mean
gate
that there would
sealed
be like
against
13 other
intrusion.
places where the spare
Loporrit
birds are
constructs
chilling
stand
still?
ready to purge
Actually, that's been explained, but apparently it will start at the source, and if the source loses, then it will go everywhere as well.
Okay.
anything that slips through. When all is ready, Alphino and Alizé power the tower from Garlemald. The ether surges, the gate opens, and Vertra soars from within.
Yeah, like I want to talk about the soundtrack too.
Carrying
Like,
his
you know, whenever I listen to the
companions
music of that's also being used in the
They
video,
emerge
the
on the
14
other
also has some
side
really
in
good
the
soundtrack. It's also a
lifeless
shame I will be
scarlet hell of the
able to hear all the new
void.
music that's
A
in this
twisted
expansion.
mirror of the source,
I mean, I can just
with
pull
a
up
great
the soundtrack,
chasm
I guess, but no,
echoing
that's gay.
Zodiac's
Just look it
cradle.
up, man.
Yeah.
In its depths lies
Now
Azdaia,
we're at
bound in a
Mars,
prison
where we can
forged
find
of
Doom
gold
Guy
as his
still
will.
fighting for this.
Her eye, returned to her, sparks her awakening.
Doomguy defeats
warns
despair,
that
not with
prison
hope, but
holds
just
back
with
her
sheer
corruption.
fucking rage.
If Golbez is defeated, she may yet be free, but the price may be her soul. She reveals Golbez frequents a particular site on the surface.
I can't believe Golbez visits 4chan. Fuck me. The society's visit.
There, the warrior discovers a Memoria crystal and sees through the echo a vision. A knight and a mage battling corrupted Memoriates. They encounter a lone girl at the edge of a village. They offer her friendship and a place beside them, but she refuses. Zero recognizes the tale. It is her own past, and the knight was one of those two who once showed her kindness. Golbez arrives, his army of Voidsent in tow.
Wait, the night was
He
settled.
mocks them, revealing
It
that
was.
Azdaia was but bait. Her longing to return home made her the perfect catalyst. With a gesture, he shatters her cage. Darkness floods her soul, and she transforms into the Shadow Dragon. The battle erupts, and Golbez summons a twisted arena of stone and shadow to house the final duel. The Warrior of Light faces both Golbez and the corrupted dragon. When the dust settles and the warrior emerges victorious, Golbez reveals it was all a ruse. While they fought, remnants of Zodiac's broken essence merged within the chasm. Now awakened, they have become something new, a being of pure despair. Golbez offers it to Azdaia, who has consumed body and soul. He names his creation Zeramas, a god created to bring salvation to his world. Zero attempts to seal Zeramas using the Memoria, but he is vastly too powerful. Her spell fails, and the Memoria crystal is flung into the chasm. The heroes retreat atop Vertra's back. Azdaia is gone, but not lost. Her essence lives on within Zeramas. If they can defeat it, she may yet be saved. Istola proposes a desperate ploy. They must find a light powerful enough to pierce the deepest darkness. She turns her thoughts to the first, and departs for Old Sharlayan, seeking the knowledge necessary to bring such light into the void. Patch 6.5. Growing Light.
How many hours in
Istola
is...
returns to Razatan
3.5.
with grim
Oh my
tidings
fucking god.
and a glimmer of hope. Zeramus, rather than biding his time, is actively trying to tear through the Void Gate. his strength swelling with every moment. Urianger and the Loporrits struggle to reinforce the magical bands keeping the rift sealed. Yet, Y'shtola bears good news. In the tomes of the Allagan Archmaker's Noah, she discovered designs for etheric transmitters. Sid and the Ironworks have already fabricated a set. Her plan? To harness the crystallized flood of light in Abath Arang, send its energy to the crystal tower on the first, and use the rift to pierce through Zeramus' shroud with a concentrated lance of light. Before the Warrior of Light can depart with the devices,
I was just thinking of having a really big lamp, but this is a bad idea, I guess.
First, explaining that void sense summoning and spirit vessel travel are not so different. As such, she should be able
so,
to journey just
Y'shtola,
as
I have a suggestion how to bring light to the void send. I would suggest you this high-end IPS monitor with a 2000 nits peak brightness.
While Bakalug handles the process.
When I looked at it, I lost my eyesight because of how bright it was.
Studying hardy flora, capable of thriving in the newly restored empty. When Zero awakens, the trio tours the Crystarium, ending their walk at the Crystal Tower. There, Lena voices concern that directing so much light ether through Norvrant might cause alarm, especially in light of past disasters. Understanding the risk, the warrior and Zero travel across the first to reassure its people before deploying the transmitters. As light begins to surge across the land, Zero contemplates its overwhelming radiance. Could a creature of the void truly wield it? Determined to try, she draws it into herself and promptly collapses.
I can't believe she died.
Ryan rushes to her side, demanding to know why she would take such a risk. Zero, slowly regaining consciousness, reveals that she wanted to show her world a path to balance.
This whole setup, right? It's all set up so that we could also like travel all the other like different worlds.
Ryan offers to help her try again.
And maybe you can save the worlds that have already been destroyed by their respective elements.
Zero endures. A resolve to save the 13th.
And if the MSQ were fun, it sounded exciting to me.
Zero return to the source.
Unfortunately.
Once more through the moon's void gate.
3 hours and 10 minutes, right? Yeah.
They deploy the second set of transmitters to penetrate the shadow cloaking Zeramus.
Oh, sorry, it's worse.
Before descending into the crater, Zero pauses to admire the beams of light streaking across her world, and vows to see it saved, without it being at the cost of another world. Within the depths of the lunar subterrane, the party battles wave after wave of void scent. Amid the chaos, they recover the Memoria crystal Zero had dropped. It drags them into a memory. Golbez and Durante battling corrupted Memorians in the city of Baron. In the final clash, Golbez is transformed by dark magic. Durante, unable to kill his friend, seals him in the Memoria and takes on his name and armor, swearing to continue their mission alone. The memory fades, and the true Golbez, once Durante, stands before them. Zero begs him to reconsider his path, but he refuses. Power, he insists, is the only way to reshape the world. He recounts how an Asian manipulated his desperation, leading him to slay the Watcher and trigger the flood of darkness. Since that day, he has trusted only in himself and Zeramus, believing salvation demands sacrifice. They clash, and Golbez summons the shades of the fallen archfiends. The group battles through, and the Warrior of Light presses onward into the heart of the crater to face Zeramus alone. Golbez claims nothing can halt Zeramus' ascent, but the others believe in their champion. In the pitch-black abyss, the Warrior of Light confronts Zeramus. The Void God lashes out with reality-bending might, but the warrior holds fast. One by one, allies descend to aid them. Golbez, stirred by memory and a gesture of trust from Zero, a shard of light she shared in a previous vision, joins them. He shields the group and reveals the key. Zeramus must be sealed within a Memoria. As they battle, Zero is nearly cast into the rift, but the bonds she forged pull her back. Empowered by the faith of her companions,
but the power of friendship will win the day.
Embraces the light of her former self, a paladin reborn.
No, and she was Cecil all along.
With Golbez, they combine light and shadow.
The Netflix adaptation, Cecil.
Vertra calls out to Asdaya, and with Zero sealing Zeramus' essence, Varshan unites their ether to restore her form. Golbez, humbled, admits he now sees hope for the 13th, but doubts his place in that future. Zero offers him forgiveness and a path forward. Together they will find others who share their dream. On the moon's surface, Zero bids farewell to her newfound friends. She entrusts Ryan with Zeramus's Memoria, hoping it aids her quest in the empty. In return, the warrior gives her the Archfiend's crystals to inspire Golbez. As a parting gift, Ishtola presents Zero with a Nixie, imbued with her
Now,
wielding
remember the
stare,
empty where
should
we
they
also
ever
had
need
to stop with that
reconnect.
to do another side
Celebrations
quest, because
follow. In Razatan,
no, you had to wait for
the
something like
lovers
that as
discuss
well.
new projects that might aid the Void. In Garlemald, Zero's gratitude is passed on to Eulus, who in turn urges the twins to take a well-earned break. Back in Old Sharlayan, Ishtola presents her findings to the Forum, and the warrior escorts the Levelier siblings home. At last, in Razatan, old friends reunite under the starlit sky. Two great worms roar joyfully above, a sign that even across the sundered reflections, hope now travels freely. And in Old Sharlayan, Kryl unearths a long-lost letter buried in old files. Inside is an earring and a petition to her grandfather, asking him to explore a fabled city in distant
Galef
Tural.
exists in this world as well.
Meanwhile, at the docks, Erenville returns from his homeland, with a stranger in tow, in search of a champion. The warrior of light is summoned once more to the Baldesian Annex. There he reunites with Kryl, now wearing the mysterious earring she found, and Grahatia, who brings word from Erenville. The seasoned gleaner has just returned from distant shores, bringing with him a guest of no small significance.
Oh no!
Lamat,
Not Voklemat!
in the right of succession for Tuliolal, the capital of the New World, Tural.
I think we are now at
Woklamat wastes
6.55,
no time.
and that's
She
1 hour and
extends a
20
bold
minutes.
invitation to the Warrior of Light, asking them to accompany her as her champion in the coming trial that will determine the future ruler of her homeland.
And this will start the worst
Against
expansion
no
known to
simple
man.
contest, but one wrapped in myth. Rumors of the Golden City and the legendary beast Vale Garmanda abound. Still, before forging such a partnership, she insists on a proper introduction. A hunt,
Also,
she
as
says,
far as I understand,
will
for the
tell her all
English
she
dub,
needs
the
to
worst
know.
voice actor you'll ever know.
Erenville suggests a recent bounty on unruly beasts prowling the Isle of Ham. And though he sighs at Vuklamat's gleeful curiosity about their culinary potential, he agrees to lead them to the docks. As they traverse the isle, Vuklamat marvels at Sharlayan's wonders, stories once told to her by her brother Koana, a former student of the studium. The group eventually encounters a massive colibri, capable of mimicking speech. After felling the beast, Vuklamat's shaken confidence becomes clear, though she masks her nerves. The colibri rises again, nearly overwhelming her, until Kryl arrives in a burst of brilliant color, finishing it off with pictomancy, an esoteric art passed down from the War of the Magi. Kryl explains she's been studying the forgotten art, once wielded by Archon Realm, spurred by her own feelings of helplessness during past crises. She wishes to join their journey to Dural, not just to support Vuklamat, but because of a letter she had found. Vuklamat examines it and confirms the signature belonging to her father, the Dawn Servant. But the letter is a forgery. The language is wrong, the script unfamiliar, and the wax seal is not a tradition used in her homeland. However, the enigma only deepens Kryl's resolve. Back in Sharlayan, the group prepares a fiery feast from the colibri, using spices popularized by Zero during her stay. Over dinner, Vuklamat opens up about
Kind of
the stakes in
disappointed that they
Tural.
made a really good
One of her
cutscene there
rival
too.
siblings plans
It's
to
disappointing that it has been
Garlemald's
used with
weakness,
such a character
ignite
that
a
no one
campaign of
likes.
Conquest, and
Yeah.
she's determined to stop him. Graha questions whether inviting outsiders into such a pivotal national matter is wise. Vuklamat counters that Tural thrives on diversity, and its ruler should reflect that spirit.
I sorry, like, the first is not always a bad word, but I just cringe whenever it's used.
Alizé and Alphino leap at the chance to help and rush off to prepare. Graha, meanwhile,
Wouldn't you have
confides in the
been
Warrior of Light
used in
his
such a
suspicions.
stupid way?
After 10 years of that nonsense, yes.
Vuklamat lets on. In the shadows nearby, Thancred quietly listens. With the party growing, the Warrior of Light formally accepts Vuklamat's invitation. Graha remains behind to oversee the students of Baldesian, while Vuklamat insists Erenville accompany them, playfully invoking his long-forgotten dream of seeing the fabled city of gold. Across the sea in Limsa.
You know, like a cast of the first characters used to mean that the characters are very different from each other. Now a good cast of the first character is we made sure that actors of every single race except for white is able to join this party, even if it makes no sense.
Elsewhere in Old Shao.
Also, they're all humans, and we don't have any like non-human characters anymore.
Knowing glances.
For some
seems
reason.
The allies aren't the only ones heading to Tural. They too will journey there, but to back a different claimant. Urianger asks if Thancred has any qualms about opposing their friends, but the Gunbreaker simply smiles. He's never been one to shy from a challenge. That night, the Warrior of Light stands at the edge of the old Shalayan docks, staring out toward the horizon. In the wind, echoes of Emmet Selk's words return, as Azim's heirs seen what lies beneath the waves of the Bounty, tread the treasure isles beyond the Blindfrost, set foot in the Golden City.
There are so many more expansions we can make, Adventurer. Keep going.
Rises, and with it emerges a new trail to follow.
Dawn Rises Trail. Oh,
and so
dat
ends the complete story of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. It sure was a long one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and maybe even share the video with...
Thank you.
Such a goat
Thank
for
you.
actually summarizing it.
Yeah, thank you. So that we don't actually have to play the game. I mean, if I were to play the game, I could skip the cutscenes. Except I can't because I want to make a fucking YouTube video. Fuck my life.
Thank you
that is
for doing
far in the
all
future,
this
though.
Birds of Play.
Thank you for doing it so we can have a proper send-off as the final 14 stream. Like we have said already what we had to say about 14 many different times, and we said it in this video too. It's like there are so many things I could praise about 14, and there's definitely things I do love about the game. But the worst part is that the long part is the part that sucks. The MSQ, the so many cutscenes, that really weak gameplay until you get to a dungeon. You know, the adventure itself is just not fun, and that's bad because I do need to do that in order to get to the parts that I do think is fun. And at the same time as well, it's like I do want to know the story because the story is just an important part with an RPG in general, especially with 14. So I can't just simply feel like just like skipping all of the story, you know, unless we have videos like this. Yeah, this is kind of how it is.
They need this.
So, are there any interesting dungeons or boss fights that you would like to see for Final Fantasy XIV that in Endwalker?
I kind of feel out of it at this point. If anything, can you at least show me Tower of Zod?
Tower of Zod.
At least, unless this guy's explaining it, at least we'll just see.
I am the scrub, and you're here for one reason.
Sorry. I have no idea.
Because,
I just clicked on a random video. Plot armor.
I think you can get out of this one. This guy's explaining stuff.
This probably is a video that doesn't explain anything. Oh, it even goes up to 4K. My internet is not doing super well.
If it's already, he's going into it. Nice. Thank you for CG Inverter for doing such a run so we can see the tower in action. Reasoning. I just want to see this one because they did say that Tower of Salt was kind of spicy in the difficulty end for healers. So I'm kind of curious what this entails.
So while we're watching this, Ennis, may I tell you, may I rage bait you for a second?
Go off. What do you want to say?
So, you know, Mushoku Tensei has a new season, and you know, some people have debate, right, on Twitter. So someone posted a clip of like, you know, Paul touching, what was her name? The wife.
Which one, Eris?
No, Paul. Paul's the one. Paul's wife.
Right.
Rudius's mom.
Yeah.
Zenith?
Zenith, yes.
Yeah, like it's like touching her ass, and then like, you know, the person says like, you see, Paul never actually loved his wife.
Yeah, Rudius doesn't love any of his wives either.
No, but it's like, it's so fucking like, that's such a like, clearly person never read it because like, Paul, like the entire reason why he was angry at Rudius is because Rudius wasn't actively looking for his mom.
I'm sorry, I don't find the connections. I'm losing it.
It's like, listen, he touched And then like someone would say like, oh yeah, but he cheated on his wife once. It's like, yeah, he made a big mistake one time, and like, yeah, that was bad of him to do. He's called a scumbag sometimes, but let's be to say that he doesn't love her is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
It's clearly bullshit when you like know what the story is, like how the story goes. Like he does so much to search for her.
Yep. No, it's kind of. I already paid little attention to those people, but I also think it's worth just saying something important out of it all. Right, is that I feel like some of these people are, as I've been paying. You know, I live in a Turkish family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will notice something that goes really quick that just changes some things. People are a lot more touchy with their family members, and not in even just simply in a sexual way, just in a just genuine loving way, right?
Public display of affection.
Exactly, and this goes for both for their wives and children. So it's like I'm starting to lose this whole insanity of you can't do that. It's like, what type of police are you? But again, these are people on the internet who have never got the touch of their father or mother. The loving touch of their father or mother at this point.
No, they got the overly loving touch of the father and mother instead.
Yeah. Forever to be ruined. I've been looking way too much at the Dragoon to not realize the tank has been almost dying.
Dang.
The healer was like, yeah, you really don't need that healing.
I mean, to be fair, the healer is a scholar.
Yeah, it's fair. Scholar can really just make a lot of its healing automated, so it can just ignore all of it. Well, here's a fairy that will do the healing for me, and then
I'd love to actually play the game. How many hours of cutscenes have these guys had to go to this dungeon?
It was a quick 3 hours.
Well, and it's like also like see which like how many dungeons we have to do and like where and.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, and I can't tell you when the cutoff points are for we're heading for a dungeon or not. Wrong video. Not for. Just looked it up a moment ago. But I can tell you, obviously where the cutscenes were going to and all of that. So. And at the very least, when it came to the first cutscene and the Tower of Zod appearing. I think it's here. Yeah. No, not here.
I will say that watching that entire like summary video really did kind of like exhaust me. So much information.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
I mean, he did like condense 15 hours. How many hours? Too many hours. In 2 hours.
It's the. By the way, it's 2 hours until they reach the Tower of Zod. But it's like just 15 hours of Thingamajig itself, like the main story itself, 15 and a half or something.
Yeah.
You have here 5 hours. This is
for some reason that doesn't
hours.
sound too bad when we do 5 hour long streams, but then I don't know.
Wanna have a comparison, I guess. It helps out.
Yeah, like give me a comparison to like Shadowbringers, because that was yeah.
So Jess.
Yeah.
I have to wonder to ourselves, what have we been doing wrong?
Because the cutscene hours are how long?
The main story is 10 hours. Whereas Endwalker is an additional 15.
Jeez. I think that for one thing, obviously you take a break to eat on Fridays. That's one thing. But I think it also is just the fact that you judge by cutscene hours, but not the amount of time we have to like walk between like those cutscenes. All those fucking walking we do.
Also account some other things in between all of that.
Yeah. Never mind that in Shadowbringers we had to grind the story quest for our, like, classes, because otherwise we couldn't finish the fucking game. Remember that?
Oh, right. Like typical Dragoon fashion, he dies. Well, nobody else died.
Some things never change.
Some things never change.
But you know, like, when you put on the hours of actual cutscene time, then again, here's the difference too, right? We are actually reading the cutscenes. Whereas, I don't know how the hours are measured. Are they measured with autoplay on? Because I might read slower than, you know, autoplay goes. Right? Because when I have to read it out loud, I have to speak. And that takes more time than just, like, reading through things. Which is what I've been doing in most of Shadowbringers. But I don't know. I could, you know, we could check how many streams Shadowbringers really was, right?
This guy's clicking.
This guy's
clicking through it, so he's actually waiting. He's kind of reading it to himself.
Yeah, but still, that's reading to yourself and reading it out loud are two very different things. I have learned.
Indeed.
Final Fantasy XIV streams should all be all the way to the bottom. Fuck me. Look at all the streams we've done, Ennis. Look at all the amount of adventures we've been on. Can you believe this? It's crazy shit. This is the adventures I've been on. Oh, man. Where does 14 start? Here. 150 videos. This is where it all began, Ennis. This is where our horror began. Remember the beginning? Man.
Yeah.
So, like, officially we have 114 streams. There's a bunch of streams in between. Where does Shadowbringers really begin, though? The logo usually is there. Is this Shadowbringers? Beginning of Shadowbringers is this.
You even have wonderfully put the hashtags in there.
Yeah, except wrong. We head over to Shadowbringers. Yeah, this is the beginning of Shadowbringers, stream 92, right? You know, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. I think this is the main story. I don't know when the main story ends. I think it might be here. One other one.
Exactly. Can you reply?
Yeah, this is the end. This is close to the end. I think this is the final stream for the main story.
The items you find to try and tell a story to.
Maybe there's one more. So there's a lot of fucking streams. So many streams.
This has been one hell of a journey. It's the reason why we're so empty about it.
It's timing, and it's kind of sad that it ends with us having to look at a summary because it was too boring for us. Okay, I only have like 10 streams here. Started at 92, and like 140 was the end of Shadowbringer, so that's like 22 streams, I think.
Yeah, now your estimate about chances are it's gonna run. It's gonna take us like another 20 streams is absolutely correct.
Oh, fuck me. And that's why I just didn't do it, because it would take us. Eventually, essentially, the whole thing would. Of course, we're going to skip the point patches, I guess, but like it would
try and skip as much as we could, but yeah.
But we'd eventually just do 20 streams. It would be so much time spent on something we do not even really enjoy fully, unfortunately. So yeah. Ah, fuck my ass.
Right.
Okay, so.
I think it's good. I feel like it's good for us to call it here, really.
Yeah, we have set our piece. We are finished with 14 somewhat. It's again, it just saddens me. I'm not even mad. I'm just sad because I think it's a game that, you know, could be good or was good at some point, and it just kind of
really had our enjoyment to a point. At some point, we kind of got bored of it. For reasons we said many times.
Yeah, and it's good. It's something that they could have fixed, but they never did.
And in a way, we did enjoy the final story bit, even if it had to be through a summary. We did have a good time with it.
So,
At least I had. I don't know about you.
oh yeah, no, I had. Yeah, it was a lot of information to get. I was pretty exhausted after the main story quest explanation, but I found it interesting. I felt both happy and sad because I think, wow, I want to play this game, but then I remember, oh wait, if I play this game, I will suffer for millions of hours. Get tired of it.
Exactly.
That's the sad thing. It's like, this is a game I want to play, but it's a game that doesn't want me to play it. And with that, yeah. Maybe one day.
I think we said.
Maybe one day I'll come back to it. Who knows? But not in the way that the game wants me to go back to it. And
I'll probably skip all of it.
yeah, I'll skip the cutscenes. Now I won't for Endwalker because I want to include it in the fucking Final Fantasy video at some point. But I'm skipping the rest because fuck that noise. I'm not gonna even make a video.
Right.
Fuck. So that will be it, right? We're done. Now we're gonna start the actual game that I want to do, which will be Digimon World. Not immediately this Sunday, but the next week Sunday. Because this Sunday, I still think we should do Mario Sunshine on Sunday.
All right.
And Friday, we're doing Endless Ragnarok. I'm excited for that game. That's basically Final Fantasy, but it's all gameplay and it's action RPG.
Yes, I wonder how they handle the co-op. Probably will be the same as the last one. I can only imagine.
I fucking hope we get full co-op, because man,
that would be nice.
That would be nice. I thought I could have sworn, maybe it was Copium, but I could have sworn they said they were going to even fix even the main game would have co-op on the Switch, but I'm not certain. The Switch 2 version. But maybe that's Copium. We'll see. You'll see us either way. You'll see us on Friday and on Sunday for more Mario Sunshine.